We'll go right into the Board of Minutes for September 5th.
I make a motion, we approve the board of minutes for September 5th, 2023.
I forgot to mention that Commissioner Hinkle is absent today. It's just Commissioner McClure and me, so. I second it. And Bailey's here, sorry. Any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we'll move into correspondence. This lease agreement here with this
Oh, you just need to sign that. That's for all those leases that have been being updated from earlier this summer. We've just slowly been getting them back, getting signatures on them, getting them recorded.
Alrighty, the first one from Debbie Dafters. She's wondering when the potholes are going to be filled in, the road bladed. From Debbie Peters and Resident Travelers Home.
And I think there was a couple emails on that, and I think Paul had gotten a hold of her, or they were up there yesterday. So,
Okay, so the first one pretty much is obviously they're there.
yeah, there was a series of them.
They're still saying even though they bladed, the holes will be back. Next one's from Thomas Butler. It's on Georgetown Lake Road speeding issues. Tom Butler is the president of Village Homeowners Association, Georgetown. Next one, from Mako on the revenue letter.
And this one is just the same road that we're working on right now.
The department has a letter working through process. That was school, maybe. This one here is pretty much with that one. This one's not Attorney General's opinion on the levies. The next one's from FERC. This is a letter acknowledged May 30th, 2023 letter transmitting the revised time sensitive action plan and was. Next one from Leanne Moyer. It's on recommending requesting information on any bridge construction and repair activities under your jurisdiction. I don't think we're doing nothing yet on any bridges, so.
I sent that, or that was sent to Paul as well.
Okay, thanks. Next one from Pat Milligan. And his, can you please help me out? When and why did Granite County stop road maintenance in subdivisions?
Stop what?
when did we stop road maintenance in subdivision? Edwards Tracks, Jericho Bay and Denton's.
He has another email that I kind of attached to that where he references that we need to update our website.
Who is this from?
James Patrick Milligan.
There was never
We don't do.
county
subdivision.
road maintenance in subdivision.
That's their own, that's why they have phone numbers. When we do their own, they hire.
Once upon a time, we did do maintenance in those subdivisions. I don't know the exact
I
date.
think, wasn't that
Time.
when the snow got too deep, we helped them shove it back, just a one-time deal, just because they couldn't get through, I remember something.
Yeah, I don't know. Linda would have more information. She's kind of walked me through it a couple of times. There was at one point, I think, like a budget review where it was acknowledged that those weren't county roads and we couldn't afford to do them any longer, and we stopped doing any type of maintenance.
So this needs to be addressed. Are we gonna respond to this person saying that we don't?
Well, I think we need to talk to Linda, what she's saying, put it on the agenda for next week and talk to Linda about it, have Linda here and explain what. You know something about it. I was thinking we went in there and we shoved the snow back because they were using them little plows, they couldn't. Just kept. With one of them good neighbors. That was quite a few years ago. I guess we need to put it on agenda, then we can look into it.
Why do we have to talk to Linda?
Cause she knows something about it, that Billy was saying that she,
I missed that. What do you?
So I had a couple calls on this similar issue this year, and I'd actually talked to Linda about it, and she'd kind of given me some background that at some point in time, we did actually do some maintenance in those subdivisions, and at one point we had stopped. She had some background on it, is all I had said.
gives a little information for us. But we don't do subdivisions. That's why once in a while, we've helped out when they've been snowed in so deep they can't do it. When we're actually going by them, we shove snow back for them. And that's where we get into this. Every time we help, and they want more.
The good neighbor policy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's what you need to do. Next one from Donovan Jones, and it's on the wind blew over a rotating beacon at the airport a year ago. And they're wondering when it's gonna get fixed, and it sounds like everybody's waiting on funding to come through for it. That'd be something. Did you send this to?
So he's on the airport board with Ernie, and there's a quote attached there. I don't have any other information on it.
$45,000 to put up a beacon?
Yeah.
Wow. Doing good. They can't fix the old one, they have to put up a new one. We have to need to talk to Ernie on that, maybe he can
Come in.
send him a note if he wants to get on, come in and talk to us.
Okay.
And then here's an applicant from Corey and Shanna Gelatich. They're up 32 now. And they're up 32 Snook Trail, South Clinton. They wanna abandon this road, because they're at the end and people are parking there. They've been in before. Do this. Was they gonna get on the agenda and come in, or they just want us?
So that just came in the mail yesterday. They haven't called me or the commissioner's office at all. They did speak with Linda, who has explained that that's a subdivision road and not a county road.
I don't think they can, this procedure that they're doing right now is not the correct procedure for them to say they're going to abandon it.
Oh, that's what do you say,
It's a required subdivision road for emergency response vehicles, so it's not a,
Can't be abandoned.
yeah.
They've come in before and we've gotten stuff on it before over the years. Next thing's from James Madrar, he's. American Medical Association.
So wait, how do we respond to this?
I think Linda is,
Okay,
Linda will.
Yeah, we work with
I think that's her. Cause she knows what's what's not, yeah,
so she'll respond that they can't abandon.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I think she's told them that,
okay.
but this way we'll get it in writing and. If we have to sign it, we'll sign it and send it to her. And then next one's for American Medical Association Awards for Outstanding Government Service. Yeah. That's it on the correspondence, any. Public comment on the correspondence?
Instead, yeah.
All right, we'll go into public comment. You have public comment?
No, I'm here for the 9:15.
You what?
I'm here for the 9:15.
I'm like running behind a little bit, we're talking about.
Are they gonna buy it? Are they gonna buy it? Are we selling it to them? Are they just gonna sell it?
We'll find out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where the. Are we buying it or do we need it? I guess we'll get to that.
What's that?
She was talking to you.
I was just reading this other stuff, you know.
Put it out for bid, I guess.
Any public comment? And being done, go ahead, come on up, sir. All right, we're into the weekly report with Road and Bridge Superintendent Paul. Solid Waste Weekly Report, selling JV trailer to road.
Paul isn't gonna be here again today.
Nope.
Why not?
Somebody loading truck.
Okay, one moment, please. I have a random drug testing person that's been trying to get a hold of you to set up some, when you're gonna get the tests. Anyway, he needs to speak with you. I'm sorry to
Oh,
interrupt.
you're fine, go ahead. Is this new? Yeah, right. On that trailer, yeah, they're gonna buy it, they're using it.
Yeah, that's what I figured, and it was Sarah Graham, clerk reporter, acting junk vehicle manager, I guess. So, yeah, so I looked it up and it was 6,200 new, so I figured 3,100, is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, alrighty, then, so we'll just do a journal voucher
Yeah,
thing,
that's fair,
alrighty,
cause they haul the buckets and stuff on it, I mean, and then you.
that's what she said, that they've been using it, so, and then that's. Okay. I guess that's it, you brought your, did you bring your record?
Yeah.
Okay, so come, I've
Oh,
got the
yeah, you
paperwork here, we'll do that afterwards, so.
okay. All right, on the
I
weekly,
think that was, I think, yeah, that was it, so I don't need to be here anymore, okay, we got that settled, okay, perfect.
thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't-
Morning.
I thought you were talking. Trying to figure out.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Morning,
Hey, Blaine,
where is everyone?
I'm chopped on vacation and I don't know.
Billy's.
Oh, she's here.
Oh, okay.
She's doing some
Oh, okay.
testing stuff.
Okay.
She's right here. We'll just wait a couple minutes for her to come back.
Okay.
On the road stuff, They're up, Maxville, I didn't know that, they're hauling gravel up by Princeton there, them rocks, the road, water washed out, and they, it's a road that we do maintain. Anyway, and then I seen the grader Thursday heading to Bear Gulls, and I apologize for telling the people that they were gonna be there Monday, and then they ended up being in Maxville. But I don't know, a couple of people called and said, oh, we see the graders here, and I told them, yeah, they'll be there Monday, and they're gonna put that gravel there. Now they're gonna do it tomorrow. But
Well, how many people are up at Maxville? All of them?
I don't know, I think they're blading out here, I don't know, see, this is the problem, this, we get in. He needs,
Are we-
he needs to be
Are we,
here to call.
only when it's a need to know basis or what?
No, I think we need to know what we're doing, cause I'm telling people what I got told, and then they call me, that's get pissed off. Why'd you tell us that?
You mean he needs to communicate better?
Total, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting them. I know they're working doing them, I'm not making no excuses, but when you tell
Well, we
people.
can't keep saying you need to communicate better and then not. I think it needs to get to a point where it has to be documented.
And I
And
don't
just
know
every
what-
week we're saying we need to communicate better and then we're not getting any better communication.
Well, that's the thing, about I
you guys on?
agree with you, he needs to be here
Are you
to
on?
answer, these-
Yeah,
yes.
Okay,
He needs to be here to answer these questions, cause I mean, we're telling people stuff and just like this. Road stuff up here, I mean,
what was that?
For our random drug testing for DOT compliance, apparently our guy who used to do that has left and there's a new guy doing it who is not as well organized. But we're.
I didn't hear what you said.
So it's our company that does our random drug testing for our DOT compliance. The guy who did it for a long time is left, and so his replacement is getting organized.
did you talk about this county, petition for vacation of county road?
I went and shipped it back up to Linda.
Yeah.
It was in correspondence.
Okay, it does not have the 10 signatures of land.
And it's not a county road. Linda
It's not-
called me
okay.
yesterday. It's a subdivision road
Linda-
required for emergency.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
no.
No, no,
All right.
sorry. But Linda's talked to him, we've talked to him before, that it's not, we can't.
They
Yeah.
can't.
It's not a county road, it
They
can't
can
be,
fence it, but they can't fence it on.
yeah. All right, good.
So,
So no.
Can't abandon a county road that's not a
Yeah,
county
it's
road.
not a county.
Yeah. What'd you do with junk vehicle trailer?
we're buying it, or the road's buying it,
For 6,200,
3,100. It
Oh.
was.
It was
62 when we split it in half.
it had depreciated.
Yeah, so 3,100. I don't know if he's calling in or what, but we should have to call him in. I mean, we're at a standstill right now, I didn't. I don't know if he's loading trucks or what, I have no idea. I seen Bob Wheeler was here this morning getting something, and usually he loads his trucks because it's out of his pit. But they're hauling gravel, I seen 2 trucks going up Maxwell this morning when I left. Like I said, they're fixing the washout, but I don't know much. Gonna have to, he's just gonna have to be here to answer this one, we can see. Between each other and we don't know what's going on, it's pretty embarrassing.
Only thing I'd encourage you if, just talking about personnel managers, I'd close them if they're
That's what I
more
was
than
thinking.
what you're. But, just saying there needs to be better communications, fine, but, if you're gonna do, yeah. it needs
One
more
reason I
pri-
brought it up, cause I told some people and then they called me
Yeah.
yesterday. And I That's why I told him I'd bring it up at the end of the day. Just wanna make sure it's on the record that I did.
Do we need to draft a letter or what?
Well, I encourage you to close the meeting. Your private personnel matter.
Okay, we're gonna go to personnel matter, private. Public comment.
Alright. There you go.
We're back on now. Any public comment on road and bridge and solid waste? Being none will.
gave-
Minutes
Yeah, I
before
gave you
we do.
extra time.
Is they coming in or are we just,
She's coming in.
Okay.
I give you extra time today. Oh, you have a public comment.
okay, go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. Lady Gagliano, for the record, I'm at a loss because I heard people coming in, something about a JV trailer to the road. I didn't hear who that person was that came in and then said something about 3,100 and then now can I leave? And she left. I don't know who that was. I assume Paul Out isn't there. Alt isn't there, or I don't know. And then there was a big discussion and then I don't know, I'm kind of lost. So who was there? Who brought up any questions? There was no introduction.
Yes, Sarah did say who she was, what she was here for.
That was Sarah?
Sarah. Graham.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't hear her. Sorry.
She honestly did.
And she came in and what, bought the trailer or said that we bought it?
Yes, it was a trailer that we purchased, I think a couple years ago and means that, yes, the road crew bought it.
She came in as the junk vehicle manager. They bought a trailer a few years ago for the road to haul junk vehicles. And, junk vehicle needed to know whether or not they were gonna still use it. Or
Okay,
needed their money back. And so the road purchased it from Ford. And gave junk vehicle $3,100 for the trailer. They're going to keep it because they no longer haul junk vehicles.
Thank you.
okay. Thank you on that. But then all of a sudden, I guess it was Blaine came in, the county attorney, talking about correspondence about a road vacation. And then whatever happened, for some reason, personal, the meeting was closed.
We said, if you were listening, I actually said that we shipped it back up to Linda, cause Linda's been taking care of it and she's talked to these people. It's a subdivision road.
And then you close, well,
Yes,
that was a letter, and then you close the meeting
yes, it was
again.
matter.
Private personnel.
Private personal matter and we close the meeting. And we can.
Uh-huh. Okay, thank you.
All right, so we're just waiting for Sarah. Rouse. Solid waste, I guess, as long as we're talking, I mean, we got solid waste on right now. So this is what we got, the money that we made off of the steel bins, the tin bins, that's for this year. I'm just kind of curious how much, because we take all that steel in and then they come and pick it up. and haul it down there, and we do get money for it. You
So we
can
need-
see the market is so bad, but I forget
$2,100.
this. And
Oh.
Paul didn't think we got any money, and I went and checked with Lynn, and she got me this, so that's why I'll take that back in and give it to her. I just wanted to look.
So this is where you'd wanna check with the solid waste clerk
Mhm.
versus checking with. Because they would know more than,
Yeah, and so, Lynn got me this stuff
Yeah.
this morning.
so there is revenue coming in.
Yeah, just,
This deal.
I mean, it's pretty much, it's not, it's cleaning up the county,
Yeah.
really is what it is. And that- If we don't do it, then we're gonna have iron laying everywhere. So I think we should still keep doing this. It's not a big money maker, but it's helping the community clean it out. I hope to bring this.
Well, it's probably paying for itself, if anything. Oh, well,
Yeah, but I mean, it's keeping the county cleaned up. Otherwise, you're gonna end up with, you know, a bunch of iron laying here or there.
so, who hauls it? The road hauls it?
Hell, I
Who hauls it to the dumpster?
just people.
Okay,
People
so
bring it,
we're,
yeah.
it's not costing anything to haul. to
No,
the
it just
dumpster,
costs us to haul it. And
And then you get,
we get a little bit out of it. But I mean, it's. A lot of the stuff is these fencing contractors and really.
so the steel is in the tonnage that we have to pay?
No, we have to pay them to come get it, yes. Allied, they have to come get it. We used to haul it down ourselves, county guys hauled it down there once when we had too much, and then they put that money into like. Into the road thing, cause a lot of it come out of the road, but it sounds like there's a lot more fence and stuff and that, but. It is. Yeah, the market, I mean, I never make no money. Right, but that's curious.
What happens?
Got to go.
Oh, no.
It's about.
Oh,
Spicy. I haven't heard back, Tom Burton was gonna get a hold of Paul.
I
Or
haven't heard.
Paul were gonna get, they were supposed to get together and put up them gates up there, and I hadn't heard back, and I'll call Tom. this
Okay.
week.
Yeah, I haven't heard either.
I think he's been so busy, but he said he'd do it, so. That's a lock gates up there in the dam,
They get them?
not yet. He wanted to meet with Paul and they're gonna look at it, and I don't have an answer to that. I'll call Tom and find out. If they did get a gasometer fixed, then we gotta take a load of rock up there yet. On the
Nice.
corner where.
Where it's washing.
And Paul knows about that, right?
Sweet.
I have to find some 3-inch or 4-inch rock to put there, so. You know. I think we'll do it and just spread it out there.
Is there any in McLean's pit? It's
I
just
don't
right
know
there.
what he has, I
Yeah.
seriously don't know what McLean has to add or Davidson does or
Yeah,
Miles has it or.
yeah.
I don't know, Phil, I don't have anything left, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I get that going.
I was big.
I think it's need to gain comment back from. Work or did
No,
Jeremiah say anything?
Jeremiah thinks they look good, and I know next week is the week that, Jared will actually check the gasometer, so. We'll see how well everything works.
Jeremy, for man, I'm sorry. I know he's had other stuff, so.
I like him. Yeah,
He does a good job.
he does. Did you steal it?
Let's go for it.
You got plans, they were walking on rack.
Oh, yeah, Forest Service called me yesterday and invited me to be on the RAC committee. I know, so I had to send in my resume and fill out a full application, and so I did that and sent it off yesterday.
So when can we fill out our?
I haven't, Sarah didn't email me back, so I gotta touch base with her.
Was this the thing I should have signed for Sarah?
No, she just wanted to provide some information on the trailer.
And then I guess when Sarah gets here, well, we're into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, on this is on that cooperative forest road use agreement. That first part of it says. Part B, when it's saying providing 700 cubic yards of gravel for improvement, we're not gonna. Provide 700, we're just gonna take the rock down to our own pit. And Paul did check on it with Brian Robbins, which is with DNRC, and he said we can put it in there. He checked on that. Make sure that we're dumping that pit or whole.
Okay.
So that's all clear. I mean, that's. We should. So. I guess she said it, how she made it sound last week, we could still sign this and that, we don't have, I just didn't like that where it said providing. So I mean, if we scratch that and sign it, it's kind of sound like Sarah was gonna find out more about it too.
So we were just going to,
The first part,
we were not gonna do part A or part B.
we're doing part A,
It was,
that's the stuff we're gonna
Oh,
clean.
they're not gonna, yeah, we're cleaning it though, they're not.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
So-
have
So I
part
thought
A-
part A was they were gonna clean it
Yeah,
for us.
I have part A, paragraph 1 and part B, paragraph 1, where Commissioner Hinkle's concerns from last week.
So it's what?
I have it written as part A, paragraph 1 and part B, paragraph 1.
We have to clean it because it's our road map. We're gonna
Yeah.
clean it out, so I guess disposal of bank washout material from. All that should be done by Granite County. On part A, number 1, right? And then part B would be, we're not,
We're not gonna provide 700 cubic yards of gravel.
yeah, so we scratch part B. Number 1, and then the rest of it.
You just wanna maybe, I don't know, do you wanna cross stuff out and that you want crossed out, and then I can send it over to her and maybe she can type up a.
I think we should, she said as long as we, sound like we could initial it, I didn't, or whatever, but.
And then I think she'll have to come up with a finalized one that you'll probably have to
That's
sign.
just what we usually. Cause I thought he was bringing something signed by that Lisa.
Well, I don't know, I know whatever,
It was kind of a-
she'll have to send it up to get a. I can
guess
just
we'll
send her
just
your
wait a
note.
few minutes for her, see if she don't show up, I guess that's what we'll do. Put Granite County to, for part A and for part B, number 1, that we're not providing 7.
Do you just wanna write it on there and then sign that one, and I'll send it to her, and she might send back a final one to sign, but. Then she'll have your specific comments.
Granite County will clean. Okay. So. Forest will not clean up, we will clean up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. And this kind of says that they would clean it up, but no, we will clean it up.
Yeah, it's our deal.
We will clean it up and dispose of it. Right?
Yeah.
And then to scratch. part B number one?
Yeah.
Okay, but we'll still do part B number two.
Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect. I'll just scan that and send it to her then, and then when there's a final agreement, I'll put it back on your tin.
On that, should we make a motion what we did just to? I mean, I guess when it comes back, then we can do. the
Yeah, I'll have a
motion.
final one with the final verbiage.
so are we tabling it until it comes back from the Forest Service?
Yeah.
Okay, amending part A. And removing part B number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty, so. Things might not be coming in or whatever, but we'll wait till 10 o'clock anyway to do this solid waste policy manual. Did you get the stuff from Blaine in your email? My email still ain't working right, but Blaine, I'll wait till he gets to it. but-
And I printed what he is, the policy manual with the updates. He highlighted what he's added. It's a section right there towards the end with the new requirements.
Okay, and he sent me on my, text me some pictures of low profile scales and some other.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'll just wait till 10 o'clock then.
Yes. And from Blaine from Samuel Brokenshire,
Is it in commissioner email?
from Blaine about the roof.
Oh, I've been reading them back and forth here and there. I don't know that I've read that one.
So are we putting stuff on it that we weren't supposed to be, or?
There's been so much back and forth. I would ask Blaine for an update when he comes back. He's kind of been.
Is it from?
But
I never remember. Yeah, so I guess you need to ask him what's going on.
So is this from the original guy that did the roof?
I can't, I think Ace wasn't it?
I think it was eight, and then. We should ask Blaine, cause he's been dealing with it, and I feel like there's a couple of different people he's been dealing with. In regard to their roof.
Wow. Friday, September 15th, it's good to check my email.
I have a whole group of.
We got Butler's board meeting on Friday.
I think
Oh,
Ace,
yeah.
Ace did some of it, and then they were, I don't know, like, I have to ask Dwayne.
Here's the thing. Some money and think I did this and like.
Hey, how are you?
Are you driving a wrecking truck to work now?
What's that?
Are you driving a wrecking truck to work now?
No, I
Your
use,
tow truck?
oh, yeah, I have a tow after work,
Oh, okay.
is that okay?
We.
You can have it if I don't.
On Monday.
I got an old truck, although yours is probably a step up
Running
like
out.
one year.
I don't know, it don't seem like it don't matter if they're new or old.
Good, because I wasn't here on Monday.
No, 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 that's
Okay.
coming Monday.
Okay,
So people have been sending me things for the
Okay.
agenda.
okay.
Just thought I would remind you.
Alright.
Yeah.
Got about 5 minutes,
I,
you got about
I
5
really
minutes.
don't need to stay,
Huh?
but I see you're on your agenda, you wanna talk about skills.
Yeah,
And so I
We
just
can't
wanted,
do it until 10.
can I just give you the paperwork?
yeah,
See, you'll be happy.
I guess we can't talk about it.
Okay,
Yeah, you can set one down there and Chuck's too, he's not here today, just run with him in the beer. Right on that, so it's a finger fry.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, so Sarah must not be coming in, Ralph.
That's not me.
Being that, we'll move on. We're a minute early, but we'll go ahead right into the update to solid waste policy manual for Granite County requiring scales for garbage truck. Mailing deadline notifications for granite disposal, discussion and decision. Want to come up and state your name and
Richard Robinson, ground disposal.
he gave us each a letter and I stamped it and we'll put it in. I'm still reading some of it, we're going back over it.
Yeah, basically, this is not new. I've been working with scales or trying to find it for years. I mean, this isn't something that's just not new, and I've done research, I've talked to industry people. The biggest aftermarket supplier of garbage trucks, everything from their trucks to dumpsters, tells me that this stuff is not available. I mean, this is the biggest outfit in the United States that handles this. I'm frustrated. I mean, I'm not trying to fight with you guys over this. But it's gonna kill me. It will put me out of business. That's the only option I'm coming to, because it's gonna be so expensive. And even then, I don't think it's gonna be compliant. The guy said, these are not certifiable. You cannot certify a truck scale for sales or determining value. You can't do it. State of Montana won't. I'm afraid if I do this, there's gonna be a lawsuit. And it's gonna be county, but I'm gonna get it. Because I'm the guy that's got the scale.
Did you know that when you go to the dump? And you dump your truck,
Mhm.
but it doesn't hit anybody's accounts at all? Did you know that?
The way it was, I understood the way it originally was set up, and this was way back when you had a solid waste board. That all of these people, all of their accounts registered under me. And that was then deducted from the total,
Oh, no, that isn't it at all.
and because that's what,
So,
okay, so. Jody, when somebody comes up to their dump, and they're one of my customers, she charges them.
no, they get charged their own account.
No.
Yeah, they do.
I've had people tell me,
Well, can we have Lynn come in and state
Yeah.
what actually happens?
yeah, I'd be fine. I mean, that's what I understood.
Well, that isn't what happens.
Because somebody
I'm
keeps telling me,
just stating, we've already done the research on this.
okay.
When you go dump your truck,
Mhm.
it gets dumped in there.
Right.
And then your garbage is weighed and it's in your account, but it does not hit anybody's accounts,
Okay.
anybody's accounts.
So now,
So,
yeah.
Let her
please,
finish, then you.
that person, you charge them. And you charge them and that's your fee, that's fine, whatever.
Mhm.
But then that garbage goes in the dump and it's just not really recorded on anybody's account. So then they are able to still go to the dump and still have their 2,000 pounds.
See, no, I was understood that,
Well, that's the way it is.
okay,
I mean,
but
that's
all right,
fact.
I'm trying, what I
Okay.
understood, the waste board said all of these would go under me.
Yes,
They are.
Could you, Lynn, would you come up here? We're not putting you on the spot, we're just.
Better not be, I only got 8
Oh, wait,
things
fuck.
left. And then let me introduce you, Rick Robbins, this is Scott Reddick, he is going to be the new clerk, so you will be dealing with him.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so we're. Alright,
Get Scott up here because this is his,
you
No.
can sit over here, or sit, why don't you sit there, Rick, and he'll sit there.
Oh, I'm okay, I'm standing.
Well, gotta make sure everybody knows who's here and what's going on. Alright.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so our understanding is that when he takes his garbage or takes his dump truck and dumps it in, nobody's account gets hit.
right,
There you go.
Okay.
Let
All
her
right.
finish, and then she
Okay.
explains, she
I thought
thinks.
she was gonna.
Well, that's just a fact.
Okay, all right,
So, and you were asked to bring a list.
Mhm.
And you were asked to have some kind of record so that these people's accounts can be hit for the garbage that is actually going in the dumpster, which now that garbage is going in the dumpster and there's no track of it.
Okay.
Except for what? Yours is hauled, but it's it's not going anywhere, it's in La La Land, is that correct? How do you
We
keep
do not
track of
keep
how many?
no individual accounts. It was just under granite disposal when, and depending on the route you have.
But it doesn't get charged to anybody else.
So, go ahead, you can-
now can,
Yeah, no,
okay,
I'm
now,
trying
I
to-
said,
hey,
what was the policy that was set by the waste board? They said all accounts that my customers would go under me. And that everybody, if you were a ground disposal company, and you went to the dump, you would pay. I've been told by customers that when they go to the dump, that Jody charges them. She asked them, are you a Granite County customer? She asked if you're a ground disposal customer. Because maybe they've never come in much or at all. And they said, we're with ground disposal. She said, you must pay. And
See,
she
I
was
never
charging-
knew that that was a policy. That's something that Jody has done on her own. I would not
hey,
agree with that.
We'll just.
It
say-
doesn't
let's
happen,
not
is
bring
what-
up the names though.
Oh,
okay?
that the
Yeah.
dump attendant.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
happen.
Yeah, sorry, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
wanna bring
it
up
doesn't
people's names.
Okay, so that's what I understood. And I
That's-
haven't,
you're
and
right.
I have in the past, it's been a couple of years now, but I returned my customer sheets over to Vicky.
But we asked you a couple months ago that.
Well,
We
yeah,
did that,
yeah,
because
yeah,
she's no, let me finish.
okay.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I'm trying to keep this, so.
Yeah, I
You'll have
understand
your
that,
time,
but-
you'll have your time, but she's retiring and we need to have that stuff, we beg you. And we send out stuff and ask you, but you just can't pull us off. Just a second, and then. keep it there.
Keep it in order, that's fine, that's.
But I mean, we really need it, cause she's done next week. And this is a new guy and he don't have a clue what's going on yet. I'm not, you know what I mean? But
Say no
Getting
offense,
trained up,
David.
he's getting trained up.
it's not that you don't have a clue, it's just that there's a lot of stuff going on, we don't. Right? So, Dwayne,
All I was gonna say is, if your customer list is not updated to the county. And then they're not charged, and there's potential for double dipping is the concern there, because then they're not charged for that regular amount, and so. That's where I think it's necessary for that customer list to be updated, I think, on a quarterly basis, so there's. It does away with any double dipping, I think.
I mean, we could do it monthly. I mean, that's not the problem. I misunderstood when I didn't. I thought we were talking about updating how many units we were charging. And to meet with Vicky to go through my list to make sure the big customers were paying their fair share. I didn't, I have given my customer list, and it has been a while, and it's big. I guess due diligence, just what I asked for you to do, I have failed in my part because I didn't realize that's what you guys were wanting. My total customer list again.
I think that needs to, that's my advisement, that needs to be done
Well,
regularly.
We're asking him to put scales and he's saying he can't and he won't, is what he's
I
saying.
didn't say I won't. If you can find the scales, my trouble, I can't find them. I mean, that fits my trucks. I mean, Scott, you're familiar with scales, you got them on trucks.
Then I guess you'll manually have to keep a list and eyeball it and keep a list.
Well, that's what we used to do.
Well,
It
you
is.
need to, because to be fair, kid,
Mhm.
to Granite County and their customers.
and you too, I mean, you should have.
It's really gets to be time consuming and right now, see, when we first used to do the route, and everyone's familiar with it, because she used to have to take my sheets and work with them. It's very time consuming.
And the way that we used to do it was by yardage and not by ton.
Exactly.
And he would estimate an eighth of a yard, a quarter of a yard. for his pickups. And then he would write those down on his list, and then I would input those into the computer.
So then we would
So
know,
each person actually was charged then,
Yes,
where nobody's charged now.
yes.
And so your garbage is going in there and nobody's being charged for it.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. But, and see, that's what we used to do, and then they went to the weigh.
Right.
And when they went to the weighing, they said, well, we don't want the route sheets anymore. What we want is we want to put all your customers under Granite disposal. And they will dump, you will get their volumes. And if anybody comes into the dump, that's a Granite disposal customer, they will pay. Now, that's what they
No.
decided.
That was when Cindy was
Was
the
Cindy,
secretary
right.
many years ago.
And apparently no one ever had that list of customers. So how would they even know?
Well, that's, I gave them to them at that time. I mean,
When?
I
How
gave
many years
them.
ago was that?
Well, the first one I gave was Cindy. I gave them the whole route. I would say about 2 years ago, I gave one to Vicky.
To Vicky, a couple of years ago, it's been a while though.
I mean, yeah, that's the problem, but we don't have a pool and we're paying, well, it's going in there and then we
Well,
don't know. It's not fair for everybody in the
Yeah,
town.
I understand it. I don't work outside of this county. Everybody that I'm doing is a resident, so it's not like they're not paying in. But,
Well, that would be a hopeful thing that you're not hauling somebody's garbage that is not a Granite County resident. That already doesn't have garbage.
right. 'Cause
Right.
we're counting.
Another concern I have is you talked about the big accounts, I think, that's a little too loose, we need something where those folks are agreeing to it, so they can't come back later and say, hey, I didn't, agree. There needs to be a paper trail on those bigger ones, or adjusting that to, and I think the adjustment's fine, but they should be agreeing to it. And the estimating the weight is really concerning to me, unless your customers are agreeing that using you is gonna basically be their 2,000, I think there's not enough, too fuzzy.
Can a guy, if you're doing it that way, what if charge the grant him so many units? And then he has to figure out what pays that, but of what's coming in.
Yeah, you look at what his weight is coming in, and he
See what I'm saying, Black, is that he'd be charged, say, I'm just saying 20, 25 units, this is just saying. For what he hauls in on his customers, then he'd have to go back through and then he gets, we charge him. For dumping it, he has to go back to his customer, make sure that it was feasible on his.
That doesn't sound right to me.
one of the issues, I don't have a problem with your idea of cooperative and that you have so many units. But if you don't know the number of customers and their names, then that doesn't make that cooperative work for the
Yeah,
county.
that's a problem, and. I'm gonna just guesstimate, because I don't know how many units all my customers have. But I probably represent 2,000 to 3,000 units. Of garbage.
And all we need is the paper trail to say that you have that. But I'm also an advocate of like even a portable scale or something like that, because it's just to estimate is not a fair
Well,
way
it's not
to
doing
do it.
anything right now. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no garbage is going in that dumpster and no one's getting charged
So-
for it.
Well, if I bring in my sheets, my customer list. And you have to go to Vicky, well, Lynn probably knows,
Scott now,
okay, how many units that represents? You then take my weights, which I'm gonna say the average truck, whenever I go in there. Will run about 6,000 pounds, which is about 3 units. I would dump. I'd have to do the math, but let's say I dump 10 times, I don't think it's that many. But that's, the weights vary according to what we're doing. So you could take my total weight. what my trucks bring in. Subtract it from the total volume that I'm allotted by my customer base. And I guess if I'm over, and I don't think I am, because I kind of roughly do the math, I think I'm way under what my allotment is. But if I was over, I guess I would pay that. Or at least try to get who I think the violators are, you know, the way, big guys, get their volumes raised up, because, you know, you're generating way too much
Yeah.
garbage here. And it's hard, because you look right down the alley here in Phillipsburg, it's lined with my dumpsters. And if you go by there, say Monday morning before the trucks come in there, some of them will look like they're overflowing. Well, some of them are heavy, but most of them are just full of boxes. They don't like to break down their boxes. They just throw it in. Well, this looks like an awful lot of garbage, but it only weighs out like 20 pounds, you know. And so it, you know, visualizing, that's what I've always frustrated by visual. I've always been an advocate of weight, but I've never been able to figure it out. Because visual can be,
Deceiving,
yeah, could be 100 pounds here, and that same
yes,
bag could be 10 pounds, so.
yes.
I think that way potentially could work, but the only way it works, I think, is the county is giving your customer list periodically. And also that I think you have to have an agreement with your customers that say you are part of a cooperative and you're with the cooperative, you're being averaged with everyone. And by using our services, you're agreeing to, I think if you had that on every invoice, that would be very helpful, that so your customer knows that they're being averaged in with that grand total.
Word that for me.
If the commission
Because here's what's gonna
allows them
happen.
to.
Their garbage is gonna be hit then, and they can go to the dump, and if they're over, they're over, because it's gonna be in their list.
I think
They're
that-
currently doing that.
What's that?
They're currently doing that. If they have pickup, they still come in. They don't notify us that they have a pickup. It just, if they have couches or something, they'll just go in and.
What I'm saying is when he dumps, you don't put it on their account. 'Cause you
Right,
don't know.
but I'm just saying, they'll have a pickup. That we don't know their weights or anything like that, but they'll also will come.
Yeah, I
and
know,
get
when
couches and
when you
things.
take something to dump, yeah, it's been
Yeah,
recorded, I know
So
that.
that's just, I'm just saying, there's no notification that they have a pickup.
Well, I know there's notification, if you cross the dump, you have to,
No, what I'm saying is, we don't know if they have
Granite
Yeah,
disposal
they-
pickup or not.
disposal or not.
right,
That's
And
why
they
we're
don't,
asking.
and they don't say that at all.
well, they don't have to,
Okay.
because they have an account with so,
They paid the taxes, they have one
Yeah.
unit. Oh, yeah.
well, that's what I was just saying.
Okay.
Okay, right now, nothing goes into
Well, what I
their
heard-
account from Granite Disposal.
What I heard from him, that they notify us that they have a pickup.
May I finish my
And
comment?
they don't.
They don't,
Okay,
right,
Okay,
that's what I'm saying, that's what I just said.
okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, what I'm saying is, right now, nothing goes
Right,
from
I-
Granite
I-
Disposal into their accounts.
Right.
They could still go and dump,
Mhm.
because they go across the thing, they've got a tax ID to dump. It's gonna go into their account. Nothing from Granite Disposal goes into their account now, but it would
Okay.
with your list.
Right, I get to the
It would
list,
be averaged out,
right,
which it has to be.
and when, I mean, you could put it on, do they, I don't know how the.
So they would still dump no matter what, even get averaged out with the list from you
Mhm.
to average out, and if they go over, they have to pay overages. They wouldn't go over on you unless if they did, they would pay overages. Does that make sense?
Well, I know exactly what's going on, yeah.
Okay,
It
so
does.
fine.
The way to solve the issue is he has an agreement with his customers where they agree to that, and so then they're not gonna be upset with the county that they're averaged in as part of the total.
But if they went to the
And-
dump with couch or something,
And then
and
they go,
it
okay,
put them over, and
Then
the,
it's paid
and
as,
the county's gonna charge you,
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
they're
that's,
gonna have to
cause we
pay.
don't know how much they got.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
yeah, I, you know, that's just totally fair, I mean, I would. I would put that on my billing stating that your dump total goes on. To me, and if you go to the dump, you will pay extra. I mean, the biggest problem you're gonna run into is your renters. I mean.
Well, this is what we were trying to do months ago
Mhm.
and tried to tell you we need that list.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm sorry, I didn't.
One thing, it may not be extra, if you have. The units you think you have, then it may not, and you average that, it may not eat up their whole 2,000 annual. And it is, and that's a fiscal year, or is it a fiscal year? It may not eat up their fiscal year 2,000 based upon their number of customers you have,
But
so.
some will. and
Yeah,
some-
yeah,
We
it's-
have no idea, that's what she
Yeah.
said, we have no
Yeah.
idea.
So, question, he has 2,000 units, you say? Do we ever keep track of your units? You're saying you do, and you have no idea.
I don't,
No, I
I would
I
never
said my
report
guess,
anything
I
like
just
that.
taking like looking at my sheets, I know everybody has at least one, I'm gonna say 650 customers, there's 650
Okay.
units.
So you have this list from La La Land that the Granite County doesn't even have a clue.
So I think that needs to be a rule amended in the policy that list has to be updated periodically, what that is, and
Well, there's,
in the format that the county requires.
and there's so many people moving in and that, we don't know, if everybody's getting hit and everybody's spared out, you know,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing, is right now, we don't have a clue. We have no.
And I guess it'd be I don't know exactly how you'd wanna handle this other issue, I mean, I get a customer signed up, he's get garbage for 3 months and then he cancels.
Do what now?
Say, he gets garbage for 3 months and then he cancels.
But here's the way I see it working. If you're doing updating it quarterly and it's in that, then at that quarterly report, in your report, you say he was on there, John Doe was on 3 months, and then the county, and this is what the average is for that quarter, so you're given quarterly averages. That, or well, not quarterly averages, you'll know your total garbage for the quarter.
Is that gonna work for you, Scott, quarterly, or you,
For what?
the list to come to you from him?
Oh, yeah, we can enter those in.
Well, we have to, I mean,
So-
we have to have a
I
something,
mean,
like-
quarterly is that,
and you got it already on, probably on your billing system, so.
Oh, yeah, it's not that big a
hard
deal
to get.
to print it out. I mean, some of it can be a little bit confusing because some of my customers have multiple properties. And that can be,
Well, that might be where some of these units come up, you know, where they have multiple
Yeah.
properties, and they're only getting charged for one property.
so, that's what and I guess that's something. we
right
have-
now, nobody's being charged.
But
Uh,
if you know your total weight for the quarter and know what that person then averaged for the 3 months, and then your report to Scott would be what that 3 months
Right,
total was.
yeah,
And then
well,
be on the agenda to come in and explain it and that, so we're not trying to guess and that.
so
We just gotta have better communication. with
that's
it.
a lot of it. I mean,
Right.
I'm not a paper guy. I'm a
No,
garbage
we're
guy.
now trying to get,
Okay, what?
Okay, what I see a problem with is in the computer system itself that we have. It's always inputted out at the dump when they do their weights. And they're printed out a ticket, their receipt of how much that they have used. How are we going to input that into our system? Manually
by what he weighs in and out at.
and manually put each person at,
No, that'd be up to him, and then quarterly. that-
So.
Okay,
yeah.
I
but
see
it
what
has to
she,
go into
she-
the system
Yeah,
so
she's
that
worrying
I
about
have
how
it
she's
in
gonna
wait,
do
you're
it.
all looking at once here.
so that Scott will have an accurate year-end total. When it comes time to do the overages. When you go to the dump, it shows you the date that you went and how much you dumped. We would have to then manually input every
Yeah.
week. When he gives us the listing and how much an average is for each
Yeah.
person,
Or quarterly, whatever it
quarterly,
is. Could-
okay?
What software do you use? Is it potentially he could have the same software and
It's
then,
the scale it.
but is there a name, the software that he could potentially buy that match up?
Well, that's the company. It's a proprietary, it's an in-house thing. And they have a site here and then they have one at Drummond and one at Beaver. And it's their system and it's located in Florida. And that software is their software. It's not a Microsoft thing or whatever. So he'd have to have it a setup where you could enter it in or have listings of dates and weights per customer.
Potentially looking at that to see if he could pay to have that,
Where that would save him, all he'd have to do is punch it in and then you could just.
Well, so we can
Into your
report
system.
off of it if it's entered in. That's the hurdle right now is how that data that you're gonna give us a listing of all the customers, how that's gonna get into the system with the weights and the dates.
He might
And the
need some more
customer ID.
hours then.
Those are the things that we need to report off for annual overages and things like that.
Instead of just the 20.
If somebody has a question about their account, we can pull it up. Otherwise, it's just paperwork. It's not.
But right
manageable.
now, nothing's happening.
Correct.
So, you know, if I was not doing this. All my customers brought it to the dump themselves,
Correct.
you would have to enter it all.
Well, it comes through the scale and we just get their tax ID number and then all that goes through way in, way out, and then it's done and the paper kicks out and there's a recording of it in the computer. So that's how we manage it. It's kind of automated. Otherwise, you'd have to take your listings and we'd have to type in the weights, the times, the tax ID number, and then enter, and then print out a document and then go to the next customer, you know, on a weekly or quarterly basis. So that's a lot more, you know, stuff that we know we need to do to get to the overages and listings and accountability per customer.
Yeah, and that might just be something, whoops, you could have some manual labor
My
there.
question.
That's what I'm saying.
And you guys need that?
Oh, yeah, we're not.
oh, but you're gonna say that is there a potential of him being able to use
Sure.
that software?
If they could set up another desk for him, a computer, he could enter in his customers, their weights, the dates that they did, and then have a printer that prints out the half sheets that we use to file and then, you know, for accountability for backtracking, all those things, and then it would be inside the system. So of course, he could do that. This would be another setup or another
So-
site.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it does to me.
But it would take the place of your system you have now, and then it would potentially match up.
Okay, here's a thought. The only thing is, instead of where you'd have to print out the paper, why can't you bypass the paper printout and just plug it into your system?
Well, it will go into the system and you can opt not to print.
Yeah,
Right. But we have all these printouts that we file, you know, for history, right? Isn't that why we have
yes,
those?
but you
Yeah.
still have it on your system.
Still on the system, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
And you have hard copy. How long do you keep the hard copy?
2 years.
2 years,
How many?
2 years,
3 years?
two.
Two. So you might just have to forego the hard copy and keep hard copy on a.
Digital.
What?
No,
Keep it digital.
Yeah.
it's in the Scale It software, so you can access it. So if
Yeah, I
customer
did.
XYZ says, I want to check my weights, we can look that up and give them a report, you know. But some people are questioning that weight, and so we'll go to the file and we'll pull out the actual dump sheet.
So you have a.
Yeah.
Which you could go on the
cooperative, yeah.
system and print it out too, right?
No,
No, we can't
we
do that.
don't have that availability to print out half sheets of the tickets.
I think it should be,
Print out a whole sheet on something. Can you print them out a
Just to
copy or
report,
something?
we cannot, at this courthouse, in this office, we can't print out those dump slips.
Can you print out a report?
Yes,
There, would the report work to show them
Well,
what?
some
Big dump?
customers know, they want to see the actual dump sheet that they used to sign every time they went through
the dump tickets.
dump tickets. And then COVID came along
No, let's not get into that.
Yeah, we're not.
and
we're not
it,
gonna-
No, we're not getting
and
into
it stopped that.
Nah, we're not.
I know that, but it stopped that.
And I
They're
think
using
that
a
customers
service,
should
though.
sign their sheets again. Their dump slips. They agree to the weight that's on there. There's no question at all.
So
When they don't have to sign those dump slips,
And if they don't sign it, then they can't question it.
Correct.
right, but they're not required to sign the dump slip since
Then if they don't sign it,
nobody
if
is.
they, I know, I don't,
No,
and I don't
And
care
they
if I didn't sign it, then I couldn't question it.
right,
Yeah, that's what she's saying, they recommend that they sign it.
But if you don't choose to sign it, then you can't question it. You didn't sign it. Therefore, don't question it. Now we're getting into stuff. here.
yeah.
Now we're.
I do think though, we should look into that idea of the software, cause I think that would save a lot of time. It could potentially be an easier system than you already have. It might help, you might.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm,
The first thing is, oh, we need to have the right.
Yeah.
Who's
So-
what and what first, start there, and then we can start looking into the other stuff.
Unfortunately, there's gonna have to be manual input. That's all there is to it.
That's pretty, that's
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
Because what's happening now is they're not getting charged their dumpage. Or whatever it's called. So unfortunately, it's manual input until something better happens. You have to give a list to,
yeah, I know. I-
because what's happening is your garbage is going in. I know you're exasperated, but this is.
No,
what's
I
happening.
just wanna talk and everybody keeps saying. you
Can I
can't-
finish? Then you may talk.
That's what I want.
I mean,
to
this
finish.
is a fact here. This
know.
is what's happening.
I know. I
And you're getting
know.
exasperated because I'm just stating a fact.
No, it's not, I'm not exasperated with the fact. but I keep-
What is happening?
Come on, you guys.
I just want.
One finish at a time.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to finish. Here's the fact. Okay,
I know, I'm waiting.
you have to turn in a list. We have to know who the customers are. You have to give us quarterly reports. They're gonna have to be input manually and the people charged the garbage that you've dumped for them. Fact. And it has happened now.
Okay. Now go ahead.
I had one question for Lynn. Start with. In your computer system, is there a way to label these people that they are my customers? So the dump attendant can look and verify that this is a granite disposal customer.
I guess in our
We-
accounts,
We could use a field,
we can,
flag it, yeah.
he knows, he is a computer
Okay,
whiz. He will know how to do that. Or, you know, when I input their names, their accounts and open their account, we can put a GD,
Pickup or something.
a GD, granite disposal customer,
Sure, yeah.
GDC, after their name.
This letter.
so that basically that would then. Cause I'm not, I'm one of the concerned that people are coming in that are my customers that are dumping. That. Basically are free. So. If they don't tell you that it's their ground disposal, then they're. Cheap. So if it's labeled, when they give you the card, you look up the number and say, well, your ground disposal, you'll have to pay. So that would take care of that.
No,
No, what would they?
why would you have to pay?
Because of my
Are
customer,
they gonna use the whole 2,000 pounds?
yeah, see, that's what I,
That's the thing, they might not use
Yeah.
the whole 2,000
that's
pounds.
true.
That's the purpose of the quarterly, so you won't know until the end of the fiscal year. But would they, so if they've used the first 9 months, say they've used up 1,500 pounds, would the dump attendant know that? How much can they see how much they've used?
It's
For the
not,
year.
it's not on the screen when they come up as a customer, their weights, but you can take the time to look it up and find out what their totals are for that fiscal year. But,
At
but,
this terminal,
No.
not at the dump.
yes, you can at the dump.
That's what,
I do it all the time.
So that would solve that problem because then they know how much they've had, so that it's not they're not charged until they go over the,
If they
The
go over, then the overages would come from the treasurer's office.
yes. So they're not actually having to,
No.
pay
you
right
don't
then,
have to
yeah.
pay.
Okay, alright, so then what happens? I dump. 6,000 pounds. Or let's just go for the month, let's say I'm dumping 60,000 pounds. For the month. Then am I supposed to take my 700 customers and the amount of units to deduct from each unit a portion of that 60,000 pounds? Is that what you were?
I was thinking more of a quarterly, yeah, and then you have to look at all your total customers and divide it by the total weight. The complex thing with that is you say you have a customer for 3 months, so there's gonna have to be some proration there, but that's why I think quarterly is better than monthly, because you can know that amount, you know, the total amount of customers in that period, and you know that we'll know the total amount of garbage in that too, and it's so it's a little less time consuming than on a monthly basis, and you can provide all the information in a quarterly report. That's my thinking.
It
I
would be
think it'd be
easier
better
for,
to be quarterly.
it would be easier for entry work if you did it in bigger volumes as opposed to much of little guys too, so quarterly is probably a better option.
That's my thinking.
Do you have a list from them with the tax ID numbers on it? Would that be beneficial to you?
It might, I don't know.
And then you have that list knowing, okay, are they on that list as Granite?
Well,
County?
usually, I guess,
Who does your billing now? You got set up on a computer? that-
yeah, QuickBooks, there's nothing special.
What are you looking at me for? I don't
guess
know.
not,
I don't know QuickBooks. You need to be looking at that man there. But you shouldn't worry about the overage if people are going over or not. That will be at the end of the fiscal year, Scott's job
Yeah,
to do the overage.
Well, I can-
That's not your job to know
With that
that.
extra information, I can report off.
Yeah.
But we don't have that.
yeah.
That's-
We just need
That's what we're gonna have to have.
the names and weights on a quarterly basis, and hopefully in a format later on that's
Yeah. See, right now, all
provided,
his
but,
overages are coming from people that just dump themselves.
yeah.
That's why I was asking how you did the bill. I didn't know how it came into us. That's why I looked at it. I didn't know how it come in, and if it was that where he could just print it and then get it to us, so we know it. We don't have nothing. That's all I was trying to.
And I'd say to the customer, heck with you, you're not getting those half sheets, they're expensive.
But I think
I
they're
would
gonna
just
have.
email them.
You didn't say that on sound.
No, I didn't say that.
So the draft policy changes are a little different than what we've talked about here. You
Yeah.
want this on the agenda next week to,
And then you have to get us this.
Okay,
You have to.
I'll get you.
what's the deadline right now? I mean,
Or this
next-
week,
this
so
week?
then next week, we put on agenda, we don't have to keep going week to week to week, if we're not
Okay.
here.
all right,
But we're running out of time on this agenda,
Yeah, I
so.
can get you, you know,
That's
He-
easy, Scott.
You can get the customer listing for us.
Right.
For starts, right?
right.
Yeah.
So,
That's what.
and also in going forward, you also have to provide additions and subtractions.
Right.
This person's not on it anymore, so we have to remove it. And then those kind of
I think Cheryl.
down the road maintenance kind of
Once
things.
it gets
Cheryl, every
lined up,
time a customer comes,
Yeah.
she could probably just fire this off if you did email or something.
Sure, yeah.
and once this gets lined out, at first it's gonna be a
So
little
Scott,
hectic, but once you guys get it lined out, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
a lot easier.
Yeah, to get it up
Oh,
and
yeah.
running is gonna be a
Yeah,
big
but-
house.
yeah.
But you mean, you can work with them, hey, we
Yeah,
got.
it's
too many
like-
people.
Well, wait.
Sidebar.
Hey,
So we need to,
hey, we got too many, I was
Sorry,
asking the question,
my
you guys are.
I'm sorry.
My fault.
When did you lose control?
No.
No.
Sorry, did you repeat the question?
Well, I was telling him that once he works with Scott and gets this lined out, it's gonna make it a lot easier. You know, it's gonna be hectic at first, but you can actually call and get a hold of him and then you guys can talk and get it. But right now, we have nothing, but we have to move ahead.
Yeah.
So, and basically, you know, I'd like to know how many units am I working with here?
Well, we
That's
don't
it.
know.
I don't know,
Yeah.
because I have no idea, like Rocking K, what do they got, 30
Yeah.
units or something? I don't know what these.
Well, that's the thing, you're gonna have to have better communication until we get this lined out, we
Yeah.
get hit, and then you.
What you thought was a myth.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is stuff that went through a waste board.
Yeah.
And then when this was all going. that's when they were dissolved. And so,
We just gotta get back on track, so everybody's fair to everybody. Blame one more, thing, we gotta move on.
He talked about cooperative language in his invoices. I wonder if I put what the specific language could be in the policy, and so then I'm not advising him, I'm advising the commission on what cooperative customer
Well,
language should be.
work on that next week. We have.
Yeah, I can add that into
with
the
it.
policy.
Have a little more time on it next week. We got,
Yeah,
okay? Sound good? Next week, get that stuff to us. Let's,
I got an appointment at Tuesday,
what time?
9 o'clock.
We can come down.
Yeah, I'll set it.
Yeah, I can try. I'll
I
get
mean,
you
we can
stuff.
make it work for you, but you gotta help
I
us
can get you that information
this week.
before
Yes.
Tuesday. I can, I'll.
just drop it off.
And then the policy language will be on the agenda, so.
All right, we're gonna move on, 'cause we got people there. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks. All right. Making some headway.
All right, we're gonna go into the crosswalks on Georgetown Lake Road and Lake Shore Drive. Come on up, state your name and see, you got some pictures. for us.
Yeah, good morning. I'll just bring my trash in. Vladimir Babbage.
Can you state your name and stuff?
Yeah, I'm Vladimir Babbage, building administrator. So I did, since we talked, I never did get with Mr. Albright.
And I told him to get a hold of you.
Yeah, well, that hadn't happened, but anyhow, when I went to the, what's that?
How much do you have an idea? How much?
Well, see, I don't know. I looked at them, Scott, on the, like on the internet, so I don't know what the highway department gets or whoever, if they buy them. But they were the ones they have by the Seven Gables and like you guys got, coming into the thing.
I think this is a way better idea than all that other stuff.
Well, that thing there, it's permanent. You don't have to worry about scooting.
Yeah.
And you can still, you post your speed, you put your crosswalk, you still paint your crosswalk. And I talked to Sheriff. Probably say that wrong after we left here, and then I seen him Saturday as well, and he says, yeah, if we get a crosswalk there, something like this, that we could really enforce that. And then I did talk to my neighbor, but I haven't confirmed this, but they have one kind of coming in on Iron Street. You guys might see it, but they said they seen their speeds reduced like 90%, like, people, and I know myself, if I see that, if I'm going over the 25 or 35, it catches you, it slows you down.
Well, the other thing is too, when that starts blinking, they don't know if there's a cop sitting there,
Well, exactly.
and all of a sudden there's, I mean.
Well, the thing is too, and I was wondering, I don't know this, I mean, you can't get a ticket from that, it'd be kind of neat to know how many,
It'd be
If-
one on each,
you put one on each.
and then would we have crosswalk ahead even before that?
Well, I think you put your crosswalk sign probably after that or before that, either way, I don't know if you can put it on the same
I
sign.
mean, would you put like further down the road crosswalk ahead, and then this would.
This would be first and then. there'd have a
Yeah, however you'd have to do
Yeah,
that.
I think you have to know that there's a crosswalk.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, you'd have to have two signs, and I don't know
See,
if you could put the crosswalk sign and the speed limit on the same, I think it'd get too busy. You might be able to put, it doesn't tell you what your speed limit is here though, right? And you could you might put the speed limit sign back here, and then the small crosswalk sign, I don't know, that'd be more
Are we
stuff.
doing this?
Huh?
Can we doing this?
You good, huh?
Are we doing this? Hey, do we do it? Yeah, to get it done.
Well, at least we know what it's gonna cost and what.
When I looked online, they looked like $3,500 a piece for this, and I could be better.
30,000 for a trip.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, you got two of them, you got 7 grand,
Yeah,
you got prototype, see if it works.
we can do this under the public safety stuff, under that.
Well, the thing
There's
about
gotta
it
be
is,
grants
it's
out
just
there,
so
too.
much, I mean, there's
I'm sure there's.
Had-
that. I'm sorry.
a little bit of maintenance, but nothing like what's happening, dip with. I'm not.
Well, you guys be in the same deal, kind of Chuck, you was talking about, you're not agreeing with the sheriff, he said he can't pull it. Scott's not gonna be able to pull it, you got the bumps in, then you got that issue.
Yeah. I'd
I
rather
just
go
think
with the
that's-
signs.
And I missed that till I went up to homeowners.
I'd way rather have the signs like you said, and then. I have to check in on, Wayne would have to look it up, I don't know if it's crosswalks or if it's before these speed signs or after, but.
We'd wanna do what the
I think it
regs
has to
are.
be Two signs.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
need two
You know, like
signs,
one
but
there.
on that one, you could have a speed limit sign below it, I've seen that
Yeah.
before, you know.
Yes,
You
yeah,
know, whatever on the same sign.
that's a great idea. Are you wanting to do Georgetown Lake Road and Lake Shore or just Georgetown Lake Road?
I think.
I think we gotta do them both. I mean,
Yeah.
this is something that we
Yeah.
can keep saying we're gonna do something. Like
think-
that. I'm way more for this stuff than all that other crap.
So the signage and then marking the
Yeah.
roadway?
Figure out where the
Yeah.
crosswalk and we'll send, or we'll get a hold of Paul too. He needs to get a hold of you or. to keep-
Well, I think the crosswalk for on Georgetown Lake Road, you know, we're not fortunate, ours could be a little bit easier, because you got the main dock area.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, I'd like to have it in front of my dock, but that doesn't make any sense, you know what I'm saying, but I mean, if they're slowing down between the two blind
Yeah.
curves where we are.
I
I think
think this is-
that'll take care of that whole area, and there's like 120 people in that area.
Yeah, I think this is a really good idea and appreciate you bringing this in, because, I mean, we were just battling.
Well, I was right there till I came that morning, you know, with, I kind of like that inverted speed bump idea, but then you're maintaining that, you're hearing that, or, you know, Chuck's big concern always been, you know, with the ATVs or side by sides, so we're trying to slow down. But you guys got liability, where here it's pretty easy, and, you know, we keep seeing that number. We can call the sheriff, he said and they're getting very good about patrolling, you know, when they can, I mean, they got limited resources.
Thanks, good to hear that, because we get a long tail, they're not up there. and-
I called them and thanked. You know, just see them, I mean, they got a big, you guys got a big county, but I thought I'd take that picture there just in case you guys didn't see that, I think that's.
That's effective there, I think,
Yeah.
with George,
Yeah.
or.
Well, just like yours coming into town here, that
Yeah.
25 coming into
Yeah.
town.
Well, I think we entertain a motion on this, that let's find out, you know, where it's costing, what we can do. I guess a motion, how, just that we're.
Look into 2 crosswalks and speed sign and.
So you'd be looking at four signs in total if you're doing that.
Or sign.
Or service pay anything for yours on the other side?
Well, that's the thing, I know Chuck gave a talk to, he don't want it all,
Yeah,
but I just.
I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there.
I think they
because-
might, you know, we can ask them.
So, you're talking 4 signs per crosswalk, right? Cause you have the 2 speed signs and then 2 crosswalk signs.
The signs are speed signs right on that post.
Yeah, you put your speed side on there, you can have a total of 4 on each one.
I've seen
Yeah.
Missoula's, yeah.
Yeah, so be 4 on each one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just paying them.
So entertain a motion to look into this, see what it costs and see if so we can get some facts and stuff and then plan to look in and see how it has to be posted for sure, so we don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, cause there may be a crosswalk, I don't know if there's a crosswalk speed limit, I think I've seen them 25 before on other places.
that's 25 there, well, on the Lake Shore it's 25, so.
Well, no, we're
Georgetown-
25, but I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think there's a difference between the crosswalk speed limit.
You
You know, if you're looking at
Yeah.
the crosswalk, that'd be the only question I'd have.
Okay, yeah, look that
Okay,
up.
well, we can look into that and
And I'll try to see if I can find out where they got these 2 as well,
we can call it, Billy can call the state and then
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
cause they probably have a better deal than somebody buying one off, you know.
Mhm.
there's a big sign outfit out of Missoula going up Evelyn, they got a bunch of signs and stuff too,
Okay.
so I'll try to find their name and number for you.
Okay, I have an MDT contact
Oh,
in
okay.
Missoula.
Refresh my memory, what's the speed limit Georgetown Lake Road right there?
I believe it's 25.
Yeah,
all the way around.
that's what I-
It's the way you
that's
guys
what my-
brought it up
yeah.
last time, cause that was.
That's
the-
my
You
understanding.
know, that was the thing that was brought up, the 15, I think Paul brought up that the 15s were all, you know, self-posted signs, but it was 25 all the way around the lake.
The commission back in the day did have some that were 15 because it was allowed, but I never saw Lake Shore Drive being.
Well, okay, so on that, my motion, let's, give me a second.
Did you make the motion?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll second it then.
so, any public comment on this? Here's what we've gone
So
over.
looking into the 2 crosswalks with speed signs.
Well, we appreciate it.
Looking into the implementation
That's what I
of
did.
2 crosswalk areas, Georgetown Lake Road and Lakeshore Drive.
With speed signs,
With speed
solar
signs.
speed sign.
Any
With
comment?
speed signs.
Is none, all in favor? Oh,
Aye.
whoops, sorry.
So.
You gotta come up and state your name and stuff for the record. This is on the speed.
We gotta do the damn Kennedy stuff.
Okay, yeah,
No,
my name is Brian Dussel, CEO of Graham County Medical Center.
What that?
He's the CEO of Granite County Medical.
Yeah,
And we just had comments, you know, we're right across from the school. And after school, when school gets out, we get a lot of kids crossing from the school going east. And traffic does not stop. And sometimes after school, there's just a constant line and they do not stop for the kids. So we're just wondering, you know, being this was the subject, if you consider, I know it's a state highway, so it may be a different issue, just want to bring it up.
we
So-
can't post on state highways until
Okay.
we get the study and everything, but. On the, you know, the school at one time, I don't know if it was this one, but they were talking about hiring somebody to walk the kids across there, you know, like they do in school and out where they stop the traffic, but that's all in state, so
Yeah.
I guess we'd have. That's
And-
a whole different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking to the sheriff's office to have them up there a lot of
Is
days
there
after
a
school would be good.
crosswalk painted there?
Nope, there's nothing,
See, that's the
Used to
word.
be, didn't it?
I thought there used to be one there, but
there's nothing, and we were thinking of those solar powered flashing lights, you know, that
that's
the
what it is.
hitching
Yeah,
crossing.
that'd be good.
Anyway,
Yeah, you might call
Throwing
it,
it out
I'm
there.
not trying to pan it off.
No, that's
I'll
fine.
support, but, or I'll support, but guys have to call DOT, cause we can't tell, yeah.
Leo Graham is the local.
okay, just throwing it out
Okay.
there.
So on that, any other public comment? Being none? On favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Pat, we'll look into this.
Do you want it back next week or?
Yeah, I wish you would, and then if you come up with anything, if you find stuff, would you bring? it
Well,
with
I'll
you?
poke around. see
And you can
stuff.
talk to Bill.
Yeah, I
he's
talked
get-
to Bill.
Yeah.
And then that way, we'll, the more info on it, the better off.
Do
we'll be.
you guys, do you need any more support from the homeowners, or do you think you got enough? I mean, I know
I think
Scott
we got enough.
I
I
know.
think this is I think we don't need a whole.
Butler, I think you guys are there, so it's just a matter of finding a
The-
cost
Just
for it.
kind of keep them posted, and then I just soon just deal with you on this, or we, whatever.
The sheriff is for, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're forcing, may want to enter, yeah, thanks. I may want to enter Chuck's no to the Lakeshore Drive.
I said that he was against
Yeah.
putting it on.
Just
Mr.
Lakeshore, right?
Commissioner Hinkle's against putting them on the Lakeshore Drive.
Okay,
But was for Georgetown Lake Road.
we're both for it.
So are you going for both of them? So,
Yeah,
okay, that's what I want to make sure.
Yeah, it was just-
Lane.
Commissioner Hinkle did not want the Lakeshore Drive once
Being
it's
that-
starting out.
Being it was a Forest Service and you brought up a good thing, we'll ask the Forest Service, maybe they'll just put them in there.
But Chuck was for
Help,
Lake Shore, right?
Yeah.
Georgetown,
Georgetown Lake Road,
Yes.
sorry.
yes.
Yeah.
I live on Georgetown Lake Road. I don't care about the damn Lake Shore people.
So we'll get a hold of Cameron or Sarah, whoever's,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, maybe ask, talk to them about that too, and then they could, you know, at least come up with half or something to help out.
Yeah,
Do you want me, you're gonna have Paul try to get with me again, if we kind of looked at.
Yeah, and you gave I'll have Billy send you a number that he needs to get with you, and then you start getting a proposal where you want, so we have an idea.
Yeah, and there may be, and that might be
A couple
something Lane has to tell me that they have to be, you know,
Certain feet.
X number of feet,
Yeah.
but you guys, like you said, you got that right away.
It's
so.
not gonna happen
Yeah.
just like that, but I mean, at least we're moving ahead, we got a better feeling with this, that's my opinion.
Well, where them two curves are, if you stop on both sides, then that's gonna slow a lot of stuff down,
Yeah,
especially.
Well, I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys.
thanks.
So, all right, we're going to the dam tenders report, it's in here, we're at 6429.03, 5.64. What's your? Paper,
we doing 30.
last week we were 5.16, this week we've gone up 3/10.
Good rain.
Yeah. So. We can still stay at 30 for another week, right? I get this mixed.
I think until October.
So we
1st.
were gonna stay, we were gonna go down to what,
20, you said?
20 in October,
Yeah,
Yeah, October first.
before we have to go down to,
we're gonna have some more, one second, wait. I'd stay at 30 this for another week, and because it's gonna be pretty, being warm, and I see guys are using the water, so.
Yeah, I think under the FERC order should be 30 through all of September.
I
You want to make the motion?
I'll make a motion, we stay at 30.
Any public comment? Or I second, any public comment? These none, all in favor?
I,
Alright, motion carried back. Okay, then. We're a couple minutes early, but we're reciting of stage one fire.
Rescinding.
Rescinding. Fire, stage one fire restrictions.
why,
I think we should take it off.
okay,
I think
Tell me
everybody else is in the whole, all around us and everywhere and. We've gotten quite a bit of moisture, it's pretty cool in mornings, I think we're pretty safe now.
The sheriff also asked about burning permits as well.
Well, we have to take one off, then he can start issuing.
Okay,
That's the way it looked on it when I read on there, that if, until we take it off, he can't be, yeah.
agreed.
So I'd entertain a motion that we take stage one off.
okay, I make a motion, we rescind stage one fire restrictions in the county.
And, oh, and I put in the motion to approve resolution 2023-12.
Yeah, and you should have the resolution to sign in your packet, Commissioner Adler.
I second it. Any public comment on it?
Mhm.
Being none, all in favor?
I,
And we did get a letter, the Georgetown Lake update letter, I didn't know if I got it mixed up.
Oh, the projection.
All right. I'll come on up now.
How's it going?
Good.
sorry, no.
All righty, we'll go ahead and move into the agreement with Granite County Hospital District. RE. Area 5 Home Companion Program, discussion decision. You state your name again.
Okay, Brian Dussel, CEO of Grand County Medical Center. And yes, we're prepared to take this program on. I just sent Blaine the final agreement. We're looking at October 1st, because it just seems like the cleanest way to do it. That gives time. We sent the letters out to the current clients and give us time to get things ramped up. It should be a very, very smooth transition, because right now there's only 4 clients. So, but the agreement, everything's good to go, but it needs to be on the agenda for the 9/26 board meeting. And then we'll approve it, and then I'll come in and we'll get it in something.
Sounds awesome to me.
Yeah.
So we don't need this.
I think, did you print that off, the one I just sent you?
No,
the-
that's gonna be the,
Here's the one, I just sent it to Blaine,
Okay.
so the October one.
that's old then.
That's gotta be.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing I was thinking of is the proration of the county will have run the program since July. So
But your clients have really diminished lately, so, you know.
I think you said there were some funds in there already.
There
So I
was,
was-
there was still,
Excess.
some cash in there. And,
will that operate it for the
Yeah,
enough to
so-
sufficient?
I think what revenue coming in, any revenue coming in. So I guess look at probably maybe keeping some cash in there just in case anything comes after the fact, and then,
So
the funds are coming in for this budget fiscal year, we'll just transfer to.
okay, because that's what the contract says, that they'd get all of them that you customarily give for
We
Area
need all of
5.
them, what
The,
the
The
cash,
new
yeah,
contract.
yeah, the new contract. Yeah.
So,
That's what you're wanting, right? All that total amount will go to the
Yeah.
Granite County.
the
Medical
new
Center.
contract
Yeah,
with Area 5.
Yeah.
The money's coming in, yeah, the revenue's coming in,
All right.
yeah.
Would there be any funds transferred then October 1st?
Yeah,
Some of what's left.
so
I think
I'm
we-
not sure, you'd have to maybe check with Sarah how the funds do come in. If
We
they
haven't gotten
are
a contract yet.
Pardon me,
We haven't gotten a contract yet from Joe Gilboy, but. as soon
Can
as we
you
do-
reach out to him?
Yeah.
So we can get that.
One thing the agreement does say is conditional upon you receiving the funds, so there's no, I mean, there's no guarantee, but they seem to come
Yeah,
in
they've always-
every year, so.
Yeah, we've always had a contract with Area 5.
I thought some of that money that we had in there was gonna keep this a little bit. just
So that's
in
what,
case.
for
And then-
expenditures.
Yeah, and then, yeah,
So
just. in case.
I'm not sure what's left in cash. And there's usually like 26,000 something possibly. You'd have to visit with Sarah in the clerk and recorder's office. And she can tell you just what the contract is yearly. And
Do two if you would.
whatever has needed, there might be some expenditures through September. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
she,
maybe,
Sarah,
We
Rachel
did-
Rachel still has 4 clients.
Yeah, I think we was just gonna keep some of there just in case something happened, we had to pay, it, at least we had something covered. So,
yeah, just to keep the Area 5, just to keep a small balance in
Yeah.
case there was anything. And then, I guess, watch and see if there's any other expenditures that possibly would come through.
And then maybe.
That we
after a
maybe
couple-
missed.
Maybe after a couple months.
Yeah,
if there.
yeah.
Good transfer.
Yeah. Yes,
That sounds
I
great.
really appreciate this.
Yeah.
that's,
It's a big
that's
deal.
awesome.
Well, and once we, get familiar with the program and efficient running. I think we'll be able to reduce the cost, so we can serve more people.
Yeah.
And then we'll put the word out that, to take donations,
Yeah.
that if here's what it costs to run this program for a year, and you wanna donate 3,000-4,000.
Yeah.
That's one person per year.
That's kind of what I told them, people have been calling me, it's gonna have to help this program to keep it. And we can't just keep funding it, it's going, you're gonna have to really help. Two of them, no problem, let's see.
So Rachel and I have been trying to come up with a sliding scale for income. And so we're looking for something that has something already, so we don't have to reinvent the wheels.
Right.
Okay. No, well, I think it'd be
there
good.
was misuse. There were people that could afford it, and this is for people that, for senior citizens that couldn't afford
Yeah,
help.
and Rachel did mention that
Yeah.
there were some people that didn't really need to be on it.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be like, man, on,
Yeah.
Nice to have her experience
Yeah,
coming in.
no, we're very thankful that she'll be able to help us.
You just change
You
it
did a
to
good
September
job.
12th if you're.
Oh, yep, okay.
Ready
I'll do
to.
Okay, so I'll change the
All right,
Line there.
Billy did already.
Oh,
They've
okay.
got it.
okay.
She's quick.
This was a motion on this.
Cause I have a computer here. There might be some sliding scales too available, cause I know other counties, he said, we're charging for the Area 5 on a sliding scale, so Joe Gilboy might. Have
Okay,
one,
yeah.
or I can find out what other counties are using. for
Yeah,
that.
if you would, I appreciate it.
Yeah. I can look into that.
We did a motion on that one, or we did it,
Um,
we did it
I-
last week, I thought. But this is.
No,
a
we-
new-
no, I would do, yeah, I would redo, I would do a new motion.
What?
I make a motion that we accept the agreement with Granite County Hospital District on the Area 5 home health companion program.
I second it, public comment,
Elena.
Elena?
I'm sorry, Elena Gagliano for the record. It's hard to follow on Zoom. And I have a couple, 3 questions. Was that the CEO from the medical center that was speaking and presenting this?
Yes, he stated his name and stuff.
I know that. I couldn't hear it. I'm sorry. And the other thing too, did he say that it's going to be presented to the Board of Trustees at the end of the month on September 26th for their approval?
Yes. Yes,
Okay, so before the trustees approve it, and then what happens if they don't approve it? Comes back to you guys?
They will, they've already approved it verbally.
They've already approved, so, okay, and so that should be in the minutes also.
verbally,
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Granite County Commission has terminated the program as of the end of September, so. The county would have to look for someone else to potentially receive the funding. If in fact they decided to go.
That the hospital
Decided,
district chose
yeah.
not to.
Any other public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried pass. We really appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
Sarah.
and then I'll take it.
Thank
All right, thank you. Okay,
Good job.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, not a good luck. There we got it. Units. We go off, we're just. Tell the next agenda item,
Take a break.
personal. Later. Right, we're gonna go right into the response to the United States Forest Service letter concerning Georgetown Lake field break. We have a letter here in front of us to send out to Lisa Chimchik. And it's in the response that we're against doing that.
Is that in,
It is.
I didn't entertain a motion on saying that they wanted our response and how we felt and what we thought. So we're just gonna get this back to them right away, cause they had to have it here by certain time, and it's kind of last minute deal.
By the 14th.
Yeah, so I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we send the letter to them. Where am I? To the United States Forest Service concerning the lake field break that we are against this, and I'm going to sign my name.
Public, I second it. Public comment. Being
And
none,
it's, people can see it, right?
Yeah.
being none, all in favor?
I,
Aye, and Chuck gave this property to you on there. He was for it.
Yes.
All righty. Okay, well, couple minutes early, but we'll go into the HDR engineering amendment 01 to agreement for engineering services in front of us here.
And this, you guys reviewed the task or the scope of work from HDR a couple weeks ago, and so this is the task order, so they can actually get to work on responding to FERC's comments on the PGA.
So we'll entertain a motion on amendment 01 to agreement for engineering services.
I make a motion that we agree to the amendment on engineering services with HDR Engineering Inc.
I second it. Public comment. Being none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I just wanted to look at it. Motion carried and passed. Moving right on. The next one's on response to Evergreen Chamber of Commerce. We might want to wait on this one a little bit. I thought we were gonna have some public comment on this one. This is that one, thank you for reaching out, concerns of influx of marijuana dispensaries, and then we got that letter saying how many are coming around and all that. Get some of that here. Signed it, it was in correspondence, we put it on. We'll wait a few minutes in case there's. I think we need to keep this in that thing with solid waste too, Bill.
Yes,
Well, you can sign it. That's that solid waste letter from Rick.
Did he say he was gonna get it to us immediately, that list?
he said before Tuesday.
I mean, we sat right here and I said, we have to have it this week.
Why wouldn't we give him a list too, so he can compare his list? He might have customers that aren't even,
Well, that's the thing.
don't even have a cat's ID number.
That's what I told him. This is gonna help us all out. It's not just, we're trying to put you out of bed. It's, we gotta figure out what's going on, because we don't.
How does that work with renters?
I mean,
How does that work with a renter? Like if I was a customer of his and I was renting like the house in Hall. And I was paying him to come get my garbage, how would that work?
well, we wouldn't know, because you could just, you're getting it hauled and you're paying him. We don't.
But in the new system, how will that work?
The new system's gonna show what places he's supposed to show us the people that he's charging, so we know exactly what's getting dumped and how, you know. So we can tell it.
Going off that house is used.
He's got 600 and 700. He started out 600 and went to 700 clients. Well, we don't know who's at their end of the. It's not why that manual thing's it's gonna take a little time putting it in.
Yeah,
It has to be done. We got one.
I
You
really
want that one on your neck, too?
put it around my neck. Here, tiny. Would you tie me, please? Thank you, Danny.
But yeah, I mean, we have to have record on what's going on. The paper trail isn't there, so we can't really even be telling people what to do if we don't know. That's what I meant by, you know.
Why are we gonna have public comment?
Well, I thought we might have some, there was that letter was sent, we probably. We can entertain a motion on sending this letter to them.
So the letter is just pretty much stating facts that. All we have is. Additional. Medical. So you don't really,
And I don't know what Chuck's proxy was on this, I don't remember, I don't think he gave one on that, so.
and there wasn't a lot of,
And we just entertain a
but
motion.
you know what his take is on it, so. I make motion, send a letter.
Next second, public comment? Being none, all in favor?
you're fine.
All right,
Oh, you have public comment.
all right, go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. I was trying to find the letter. I saw it. I think it was emailed. And I couldn't find the email, your response. And if it said something that there was a vote and everybody said, no, we don't want it. Well, there's a lot of question about how that vote, how it appeared on the ballot. It was like, vote no if yes, you want it, or vote yes if no, you don't want it. So there's a lot of question about that. I just want that for the record, the way it was handled. Thank you.
That vote yes and vote no thing, that was when they ran it up here.
And then they ran it again,
Changed it a little bit.
so it was on the ballot twice. And each time it failed. So.
You have another comment?
Elena has another comment.
Go ahead, Elena.
I can look back, but I believe that it passed the first time and then the second time it failed. But the number of people that voted yes for it were basically concentrated in the town of Phillipsburg.
And this had
I'm
what?
not sure, but I can verify that because I know it was agreed to and then all of a sudden change opinion.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't it? Guess have to ask Sarah. I thought it did, and they were able to,
They got signatures and got it back on the
yeah,
ballot.
because it failed the first time and then they were able to get it back on the ballot again,
Cause it wasn't published, they were just saying it was too.
trying to get it.
Like you
But it
said.
was more.
Let me go confirm that.
simply
Hold on,
for-
Elena, Blanche is gonna go confirm it. Okay? Hey, I'm information. Hey, he said yesterday that he had a disc ready to bring out, that he was. Gonna get a hold of you, so you might call him and make sure them tires are chrome well. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. All right, sounds good, my friend. Bye. Oh, lovely weekend today.
It is. It's getting cold in the morning though.
How cold was it out here?
This morning it was like 41 or 42, but yesterday it was like 36. Cold.
Good day today.
Mhm. It's almost over.
It's neat to get to the bottom of that solid waste stuff, I mean, it's a pain, it's just gotten out of hand. Only has
Yeah.
enough weight in what's for it. It'll take a little bit, but it'll come around.
Solid waste has been the topic of the hour the whole year. Get it off in January.
I thought they had a crosswalk up here by the hospital, there used to be one coming across there. I remember that years ago, but right there where, you know. I thought for sure. Before.
I had to run and pick Titus up yesterday and there was a kid that was maybe high school, young high school though. And I felt horrible. He was on a bicycle and he was in front of me riding in the middle of the road. I was going slow, but he wrecked. Like wrecked bad. He was like, there's loose gravel.
And I see him sweeping right now.
Oh my God, I felt
See where the sweeper just went up, I just watched him, but top
Oh
for
my
sure.
wouldn't be a bad idea if they had a crossing guard though to just walk kids there.
I like this idea, I think these things are way better, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy.
feel like him. That's Linda took me around up there. Cause so many people call from up there and I don't ever know what they're talking about. And she was showing me in that area where over on Denton's Point, there's a good spot for a crosswalk. There's all those little subdivisions.
You ever heard more in the airport? Did they go out and? Wayne said Paul was gonna take the sweeper out there. Yeah, I don't know that either. If they went and clean that deer mess up.
Oh,
That was a little shit. You see all the pictures?
no, I didn't.
Pretty bad. Never they ever heard from Ernie or, I was gonna ask, oh, that's another thing that I asked him if he ran that sweeper out there.
No update though from Brad Learman on culverts and. Do we have to do anything?
Yeah, I need to know, then, yeah, just put on there the culverts for Brad Learman and then the airport, if he took the sweeper out there. If they're turning that in on that insurance thing, we need to know who's.
Yeah, I think there was a plane too, right? That
That's a big one, big jet.
I know,
It's like 8 windows. It's pretty cool looking jet, it's pretty.
I know whose it is.
Name on it, what's that? Pretty new. to me.
I think it's Dave Sanson's. Dave Sanson's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we need another, I guess this is. Well, with this,
Yeah.
like in the. Lynn said another computer, why would you have to have another computer? I didn't understand that. If they have one in here, and he says it picks up everything already, why would you need another?
I don't know. I don't understand enough about the software system and it sounds like the version of the software maybe interfaces with what they have. I don't know how well it all interfaces though. It sounds like maybe they just have a program that interfaces with it, but it's not the same program.
Well, as much update as the whole world's doing, you think guy can figure out what that Florida bunch, whoever they are, that they could get out.
Or just use something streamlined that everybody uses. Do you know what I mean?
Why so far away? Are they the only dump people? I mean, that's pretty tough to get people to work on in Florida.
I know, that's and I don't know enough about it, but that's almost what I was wondering, if there's something more
Scared to ask.
that everybody uses that might.
Is she in there counting the votes or?
Sorry, they're looking for it.
Oh,
So remember the initiative passed,
oh, that's what it
the
is.
initiative passed. And then the group came in and said,
We don't want it.
we don't
here.
want it. And that passed. And then the actual dispensary people came in and did the simple yes or no. And that didn't pass.
I see the sheriff put out, commissioners have signed stage 1 fire, open burning is now open, and he already put it out.
Okay.
Very nice.
So-
Valerie or whoever does it.
Sarah's looking for the ballot language right now. For for, the group one where they came in and said, we don't want dispensaries in Grant
Yes.
County.
It was confusing, because a yes was a no on that ballot initiative, right?
And then, see, that was confusing
Mhm.
to the public, and so the dispensary people put a petition out and got it signed and then brought another ballot language
And
to
it
make
was-
it simple, yes or no, and that still didn't pass.
That's right.
Remember? And she's trying to find the. And if we get that, maybe we can email that to
Elena,
Elena. Thank you.
oh, she has a comment.
Go ahead, Elaine.
Response.
So point of clarification, even though there's question about this, you're still gonna send this to, because one thing you can also include is that the town of Phillipsburg is losing a heck of a lot of money on the sales, and so is the county losing a heck of a lot of money on the sales. And the people locally, where do you think they go? Missoula, which allows it. Recreational sales, that's what we're talking about. So we're just doing medical. And that's unfortunate because there's a lot of people in Drummond that also used to come to the dispensary in Phillipsburg, near Phillipsburg, to get recreational marijuana. So just saying for the record, that's how I feel about it. Thank you.
That's their option, they can go to Missoula if they want.
That letter does not even pertain to whether or not we sell recreational marijuana or don't sell recreational marijuana. It pertains to the fact, do we, and we don't. You have that letter?
Yeah.
They're asking.
The voters spoke twice
Yeah, the
on
voters
it,
spoke
so
twice, but it's asking on concerns. And we don't have any concerns because we don't sell
Yeah.
recreational. We don't have dispensaries that sell recreational marijuana. And so. That's all we're making a statement of. It isn't whether or not. It was approved or disapproved by the voters, and it actually went to the voters 3 times. It was approved once by initiative and then twice by ballot issues. And that was approved.
Okay,
Okay,
we're gonna move on to the resolution 2023-10. Resolution setting Granite County 2023-2024 fiscal year budget, including salaries of all Granite County elected officials and deputies. And cost of living increase for county employees, second reading adoption.
I make a motion, we adopt. Is it adopt or
Mhm.
resolution 2023-10? Setting salaries, budgets. Budgets, including salaries of all Granite County elected officials and deputies. And cost of living increase for county employees.
Let's second it. Public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, motion carried fast. Alright, so now our deputy clerk reporter Becky Mickey presents information on time clocks and bi-weekly pay. Yes.
you can sign the resolution.
Oh, you have the.
Hello.
Oh. He's not here.
All right, Becky, you're gonna go ahead and jump into the. Present information on time clocks first and then bi-weekly pay.
Okay, so I have got some information on Becky Mickey, deputy clerk recorder. These are the prices. And I know that that's kind of always the bottom line with everything is what are we looking at charging here? So these are going to be our annual charges, this one here and this one here.
Is that like annual, is that yearly?
Yes, yep. And then these ones here are one-time charges. This is for our time clocks. This is the cost of those. Along with that is an implementation service.
And one goes to each county shop and then one here? Is that what
This is each county shop and the weed shop at this point. If we wanted to do one here, we could add one.
Why would we do the weed shop?
Because
They're under
they-
that grant under that. My mom.
We pay them. I mean, they have a payroll. They're in our payroll system. But we could do another one too. This is the cost of the 3 of those. Along with that, we have insurance on all of them and it's super fast. She was saying that one of their customers in Hawaii. Theirs burned up in the fires. And she said the next day they had another one shipped to them so that they could keep going.
Well, how come they got quantity 24 to be 8 or 6,500? Before I get.
Those are the hours for the implementation service that we're gonna get. So this is what they're gonna charge us for training purposes for me, for Sarah, for our employees on how to utilize the new system.
I guess.
Go ahead, no,
I guess on the weed thing, they only work part-time, or not part-time, but they're only there for so much.
sure, and they could certainly go over and use the time clock at
I guess.
the road shop too. So if we wanted to do
Yes.
one at each road and one here, we certainly could do that.
So is that feasible? I mean, for things are seasonal, would that be?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I could
Would that-
really need.
What would that save? Each one costs what? What, 2,500?
Approximately, yeah.
I mean, for what, they only work, what, 3 months? 2
So-
months? 3 months?
That's what I say, we could certainly have them just utilize the one at the road crew.
Is it close
Right next
to road
door.
crew?
Oh, yeah, they're right next door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be.
Yeah.
They all. That's saving what, $2,500?
That's why I thought it was. Cause they're. only
Yeah, things are
couple months.
seasonal.
They're only
yeah,
couple-
and then
3
with
months.
our sheriff's department, Scott had asked if we could utilize it so that when his deputies go on shift, they have to radio into dispatch. He said, is it possible for my dispatchers to then log them in and clock them on, and it is. There is an option for those of us who come to a desk every day. We can set it up for an IP address, so you have to be at your station to log in, to clock in, or clock out. There's,
Cause isn't there a thing you can do on your phone? Is that what you're talking about? Cause you can, I know like, I'm just using like parks as they do, they can do theirs.
Mhm.
Get something.
you can also get a mobile app for those. Uh-huh.
I just asked you. I don't know.
What about like us?
Elected officials, it'll be the same. You go, you don't do a time
do
card
anything, yeah.
anyways,
Duh.
so
Yeah.
you're just salaried at what you're salaried at. Any of the elected officials will just stay.
We have to look at county attorney's office.
Would have one right in front of his door.
Per your road and bridge, could they just clock in at the computer to avoid having to pay for the time clock? Since there's a computer at each,
They could,
Location.
the problem that we're gonna have with that is the fact that there's so many of them gonna clock in at the same time.
Oh.
And you have to kind of have an IP address for each person,
Oh, I see. what you're
because you want it to be, you know, that'd be like
doing.
me telling Billy to clock me in and then hanging out at my house for another 3 hours,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah,
I see.
yeah, you don't want that. Do you do that?
I do, yeah. So they have the mobile app, and with the mobile app, you can do geofencing. So basically, if we had the mobile apps for like, for the courthouse or even for the road, they would have to be like we could geo map it so that they were on the premise of the county shop when they were able to log in with that app. The issue that not the issue, but the question that I would raise about that is whether they would then say, either do they all have cell phones, which they, I'm sure do. Would they then, well, if I'm using my phone for logging in or clocking into work, then you're gonna stipend me for my phone, things like that. So that's kind of
That's a good problem, because
and that's why I say if we just have the time clock there, it's biometric, so it's gonna be my thumbprint that clocks me in and my thumbprint that clocks me out.
cause I think they all
Yeah.
go to the county shop anyway before they leave.
They have to, yeah, that's why I
Like some of
say,
them coming up from Drummond, up here when they work, they already, you know, they're charging us from when they leave there anyway, so it's this.
leave where?
Grand
Why?
from home. to get-
If their workshop is
They
up
bring,
here,
Dump trucks and stuff up or whatever, no, they split up.
okay,
Talking about people that aren't normally
Mm-hmm.
assigned up here.
Right,
They help up here. they bring,
Right,
you
yeah.
know,
so
it's
yeah,
like-
they'd have to go to their shop down there and pick up their rig.
No different than these guys here that been going down there, they sign in here, but they gotta go there. I mean, that's just,
I don't know how it works.
well, I'm sure that's what they do, they show up here and but they're working down there, so. They, yeah,
Yeah, if they're picking up a county rig and booking it down there, then punch in, get in your dump truck and drive down there.
I don't think anybody does that, do they?
they,
So-
I seen. Well, I seen that one white truck going down there, I thought it was Steve the other day going down with a white dump truck, I could have swore it was him, I know it was a granite dump truck. But I know they bring that, sometimes they have the patcher and stuff up here and then they go and, yeah. That's why then we don't know for sure where they're going.
Well, it's gonna be inside of their work hours.
Yeah.
Right, it's not gonna be, you know, I'm gonna drive up here, get my dump truck, drive down there and then punch it. That's not what we're
That's
asking
what I-
anybody to do. We're asking you to be at your workstation at the time you're supposed to start, pick up your truck and then drive down to where you're supposed to be. They can, there is an option for us to be able to enter several different, job types. So for like Jackie, who has 3 different areas that she works, public health, DES and FEP. She can go in, log in as DES, and then when she flips to do FEP, she can just change to the FEP hours, you know, change her work code to the FEP, and then it keeps track of her different times. If she's sick on this day, it's gonna be sick on FEP time or sick on DES time, as opposed to me having to split it out between the 3 or figure out which day it happened and who only works this department on that day or what have you.
When we first got the first quote, it went up $2,000 already? It was 54, went to 73,
So the 54 is without one of the annuals
no,
figured in there.
didn't think I'd see that, did you?
That's why I wrote it in big black pen. There are over 75 different reports that I can access. I can also have, automated reports, so Monday morning at 7:45, it would hit my email and say, last week. There were 4 missed punches, 1 on Wednesday from. Me, 1 on Thursday from Billy, 1 on Tuesday from Teresa.
So
And then I
this is
could-
gonna streamline you a lot better, are you saying?
Yeah, so what they say to me, what they're telling me is that once all of the time clock punches are approved by the supervisor and or department head. And it's loaded, then I can have all of that stuff loaded into my payroll system within 15 minutes. And they said from there you can print checks and have at it, do my normal stuff.
Okay, as far as hard copy,
So
Is it-
hard,
print out that for like posterity type.
so hard copy, we could certainly print the punches, we could print those reports, cause I can, like I say, I can get the reports that have all of the punch ins, punch outs. They do also have it stored on the cloud. I can go back in for posterity purposes and pull timesheets, quote unquote timesheets from 5 years ago if I needed to for whatever reason. It also has the ability to kind of indicate what job we're working on. So for the road crew, it could benefit if we had those, you know, on this road, doing this for these hours. So I know that at one point, they, you know, you were talking about keeping track of how many hours are worked up at the lake.
Yeah.
That might be something that we can implement into that to kind of
Yeah.
streamline that and get those
Where we
reports.
can get it, yeah, we need to do that.
It'll configure the shift differentials, we can set up multiple roles in there. The manager has the ability to approve missed punches. If I book out of here at 1:30 because I'm sick and I forget to punch out, Sarah will get an email that says, hey, Becky didn't punch out today, and I'll get an email tomorrow that says, hey, Becky didn't punch out yesterday. I can then contact Sarah and say, why didn't Becky punch out? Or she can just go in, fix that punch, explain why why that punch was missed.
But there has to be an execution why, so it's just somebody's not covering for somebody else.
Right, exactly.
That's-
And then there's also going to be, you know, when they do miss that punch, we've got to account for that time too. So is it gonna be on sick time, or is it gonna be on vacation time, or is it gonna be on your comp time? So then I no longer have to figure out where do they want this time taken from? It'll also set the limit for the 6-month vacation purpose, because you know, you can't use your vacation for the first 6 months, right? And so it'll have that limitation on there, and it'll give them a message that says you can't use your sick time yet. There's also the ability to apply for a leave. So if you're going to, I'm taking a 2-week vacation next month, I can put that into my into the schedule and have my my supervisor approve it. And that way I have it approved. If it's denied, I'll also be able to get that information, why it was denied. And, you know, it would cover.
Seems just like a good paper trail and keeps kind of everything in order.
So this is, it's in,
What would that come out of? Does a piece of it come out of each? Like,
No.
what's 21, or is that just countywide?
Well, currently, I mean, we do the time sheets and the sick and vacation leave, those sheets.
Like. Does this $21,000 just come out of the road crew, or does this?
No.
This is a county thing?
So it's a county-wide thing. It could maybe come out of county building. Or like I say, currently, right now, we could budget into the clerk and recorder's budget next year and say, these are the fees that it's gonna cost us for this. And no, because,
so it'll be a year before you can implement this.
no, we can do it right now, but it's just gonna be a matter of, let's figure out where.
I think if we're gonna do it, and just take it out of pills.
Did it come out of your IT budget?
It's not, yeah,
IT?
IT?
so we probably should have budgeted for it, and we didn't, right?
We talked about it and we kind of forgot.
Well, yeah, we talked about it, and then, you know, I got busy with fiscal year changeover stuff and didn't have a chance to get back to them.
What's IT?
Is this Blackfoot, or is this a?
It is compatible with Black Mountain.
Okay,
Yes, and that's one of the things that I contacted Black Mountain first and asked them who they would
Black Mountain,
suggest.
sorry.
Yeah,
What's that like?
I asked who they would suggest, and there's 3 other counties in Montana that currently use that system. Carbon.
What's your thought?
I think. go for
Carbon,
it.
Garfield and Madison.
As long as she's got all this research done, we might as well just get on it, I think, and you're gonna probably. It's gonna be more. Easy, well, it's gonna be. How do I put this?
Initially, it's going to be a pain. Getting everybody trained on how to use it, everybody with their questions. There's going to be a lot of pushback, I already know, because it's change and there's, you know, a lot of folks don't like change. But it does streamline the process of payroll, which then flows into the next issue on the agenda of,
Pretty much everybody's going
Yeah.
time cards, though, ain't they? Or, I mean,
you know, I just so antiquated that a paper timesheet is crazy. You know, if you have a small business, that's one thing, but if you have anything that you're trying to track or jobs that you're trying to track or things like that, then you certainly, you know, this is the direction that.
And so
we should
this,
head.
yeah, this is a better. What am I trying, how am I trying to say this? This is,
Efficient?
If-
Efficient?
well. More transparency actually. With people that maybe are not due diligent
Mhm.
is the term used in this little due diligence thing on turning in their vacation and sick. And this might be. What transparency is, they have to, it's gonna be more of a checks and balances of.
and that's, I wanna make sure, I know what's gonna come back and get throughout. That micromanage, and it's not.
No, it's not. This-
Micromanage.
This should be micromanaged anyway. It's payroll.
This really isn't micromanaging. I mean, micromanaging would be me telling you, you can't use your sick time today because I don't want you to. Or what is your sick time for? Well, that's nobody's business. If you're taking sick time, you're taking sick
I
time.
just wanted to throw that out, cause you and I both.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Okay,
I absolutely do know.
the people want semi-monthly, right? People want their checks twice a month.
I've had a lot of.
We who have been doing this for the last 35, 40 years are used to it, and it's getting paid once a month, but.
Well, I think it's a lot of it's the new people that we've hired, they're used to it, and we're
Yeah, they want.
elderly people, elderly.
So I can tell you that I have for sure been contacted, you know, I've been, the road crew, there are several in the road crew that would like to have,
I've heard quite.
and the sheriff's department,
A couple deputies told me, man, that'd be handy, and then
mhm.
it's just they're not used to being once a month, and it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then you get more taxes without, you know, and this way you can kind of balance yourself to.
That's
Yeah,
what a
think,
budget's all about.
Yeah.
well, not
A lot
everybody
of people don't
works on
know
our
what budget
schedule.
is. They try to hide the budget. You know, some of these younger people, because they don't understand it. They know they have these bills and then they're waiting, oh man, I got till the end of the month, shit, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. So,
I guess I'd just entertain a motion on them
I would make.
one at a
motion
time, or both.
That we need to implement the time clocks.
I second it. Public comment? Games none, all in favor? Alright, motion carried on the time clock.
where would you like me to take the funding from?
Take it from Phil.
What were you saying about IT?
Oh, I think since it's software implementation, if it would come out of your IT budget.
Do you have it?
I don't know that we have enough in there.
Good try, because you know how I am up here.
I can look.
You could
I'll
transfer
look.
The
Nope,
IT
your
budget
IT
is
budget.
not, you would have to have put this in
In there, you could put that in there from Pilt.
So we do also have. I mean, we do have the equipment and maintenance. Computer equipment and maintenance in our county building fund.
But we didn't budget for that, so we'd have.
We did budget for computers and.
Yeah,
maintenance,
I don't know.
But I think you needed to replace a few computers, didn't
We
you?
do.
This year.
I don't think.
So this is something that we didn't budget for and we wanna go forward with it. And the only way you're gonna do it, because Tilt is contingent, you can, is put it out of Tilt.
Hope you're happy.
I am. Don't be sad.
So the other thing that would then bring us to is the twice a month payroll. Because of tax purposes, we'll still need to stay on the 5th and 20th.
Fine.
As opposed to like the 1st and 15th, it'll still need to be 5 and 20.
Well, they just have to work that themselves, figuring out their bill and then.
Well, I think that, with the multiple payments in a month, then it's gonna give them a little bit
I just
more.
think it's gonna help. I guess the younger people, that many ones just trying to survive month by month. It helps.
Yeah, that shouldn't mess with much your reports. And it certainly did when we went from the end of the month to the 5th month.
Cause you were against that one, yeah.
Boy, did we get in trouble.
Mhm. Yeah,
Cause it was brought before and somebody said, no. I remember.
We had to have, what's her name, Congressman. Tell the IRS. We didn't try to evade paying our fair share of taxes, because it messed with your 941 report.
yes.
I'd entertain a motion then by week.
By monthly.
So when do you want to start this?
I guess it's up to her, she's the.
So let me
first of
contact.
October.
Let me contact TCP and find out when we can. So they're gonna walk through two payroll cycles with me. And we'll have to do a bunch of training and all that kind of stuff too. Like I said, I still would like to simultaneously do the paper and the electronic. Just so I can make sure that things are the way that they're supposed to be in our electronic system.
Yeah, and I think probably 2 months should take care of it. I would
Yeah.
double duty your work for any 2 months should. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I was just gonna say, last time this was brought up, you just had an employee come in asking for a generous amount of time notice to adjust their bills
Oh,
over
yeah.
to the bi-monthly cycle, so to not do it right away.
Well, they, then, once they figure out what dates are, they can
Yeah.
do that themselves.
Yeah. I was just thinking October might
No, thank you.
be a little short notice.
So we could certainly continue on the monthly cycle until the 1st of the year. And then the 1st of the year, kind of a,
That might be
Clean
better, that
start.
gives you time and get all lined out, you good with that? Hey,
So December's wages are paid on the 5th of January.
it would not be. Let me think about this for a second because
Yeah, December's wages are the 5th of January.
so why not start it in November? That's still 2 months. Go in November. Can we do it in November?
December's wages.
Yeah,
are
that
paid
way,
on the 5th of January.
December, you'd be
Yeah.
better than the 5th
And
and
that
the
would be-
20th,
There.
that gives you
Right there.
Christmas coming, so that would work in Christmas time.
So that would still work because December's wages would, no matter what, be on the 5th of January. So if we started,
But we wouldn't ourselves, we just stay the
no,
same.
we're not, it's not gonna bother us.
You guys don't
It's it's her reporting. See, your
Because I
December's
just wanna
wages.
make sure if you're getting paid in December and my Christmas, don't forget
If I didn't need this ink pen, I'd throw it at you.
that. She's been eating, we say it all day.
So let me do a little bit of
I'd like to start in November.
Yeah,
chatting with TCP. Find out how that'll work. I would also probably contact the 3 counties in Montana to see if they do monthly or semi-month, or what is that?
Bi-monthly.
Bi-monthly.
Your motion could be at earliest reasonable, or earliest practicable time.
I
for
just think it'd be
bi-monthly.
perfect in November, cause then come December, you have cause you're always trying to budget for December.
Well, think that we're already at the end, we're in the middle of September, so if you wanted to give 2 months' notice to those folks, you're gonna have to push it to December.
Then just give them what I guess. It's been talked around about it, that's a big deal, this started in November.
November gives them enough time, if that
Yeah.
gives you enough time.
Transition them.
So I would give notice that it's gonna start in November right now.
I think it'd be better. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
So
If it works.
what you're saying then, you're gonna try to do. Like November 5th is October's wages.
And then,
Yeah, that's gonna be,
I'm gonna have to think
Yeah.
about that to see how it's gonna,
so you're gonna have to like mid-month it, right?
so you would have a really, so then the other pay date's the 20th, right? So you'd have a really big paycheck on the 20th and then it would fall into place starting in December,
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You'd have like a,
Cause they get their October
A
pay
big
in
one.
November 5th. And then they get a check on November
20th for like
Yeah.
3
and then
weeks,
December 5th.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Let's go right out.
Yeah, so they're actually getting a little bit of a extra month. I mean, they're not getting an extra month, they'd have a full month in October 5th and then 2 weeks on the
Adjusted.
20th.
Mhm.
And then 2 weeks on the 5th again.
Right.
So they'd have a little extra money in October and then.
Or
They have holidays,
I guess
and
when's
that's
your
what I was
end
trying to
date
think
for
of it.
processing?
You wanna
So
give
your
them the
payout's the
holidays?
20th, but when's your end date for processing? Because you're not gonna,
People will-
Well, that's gonna work.
So-
You can do,
The processing, according to TCP, is the processing happens rapidly. Once everything is approved by department heads and is all into the system like it's supposed to be, I can take that file, upload it, as long as I have the payroll at the bank before 1 PM, it hits your account that day. By 3 PM, it hits your account the next day.
yeah,
so like the 17th would, so you'll be paid like, if you look at November, I know you can't see the calendar, November, Friday, November 17th is that Friday. So on the 20th, you would be paid through that Friday, or you don't have you're not giving yourself a grace period of like X amount of days prior
Do
to.
you have
pay
to
it.
have the time cards in to do the by?
I mean, I would give myself a grace period just so you have those days to correct open punches, to follow up with supervisors.
Well, and the open punches should be corrected. I will have reporting of that. I would probably
Hopefully
start
weekly.
daily.
get
I
it
would probably
weekly.
start daily
Yeah,
so that I would know each day that this punch was missed and why it was
Yeah.
punched, why the punch was missed. I don't know how long it will take for them to get the systems in place for us. So
I
it's,
was just wondering if we can just still do the bi-monthly, if we just go ahead and start that and then it's the time.
no, because I don't have, doing it by the timesheets, I don't have enough time. If I have nothing else to do, I could do it. I would be able to do claims and payroll and that's it. I could do paper timesheets twice a month. But I wouldn't have time for anything else really. Because the paper timesheets, rounding them up, getting them all into me, and then going through them, entering everything. It takes me between 12 and 16 hours to do all that. And then there's the reporting after.
think you're doing it manually, like I am.
I know, that's what I often do think. I'm like, you've got to be out of your mind.
So here's the thing, you get paid on the 5th. So payday would be on the 5th, and your time would be like from the 1st through. The 5th and the 20th. So, okay, I just had this figured out and I lost my brain.
Yeah.
So the 15th would be the 16th through the 31st, right?
Mhm.
Semi-monthly,
mhm,
and you're paid,
on the 5th.
Or the 16th or the 31st should be paid. on
Yeah.
the 5th.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the way it is.
yeah.
so their time cards would have to be on. And then
Yeah,
it's
we're
the first,
tracking now.
the 1st through the 15th time card would be,
Right, right.
Mhm.
Now we're tracking.
And then the 16th through the 31st, and the time would be on the 5th of the month. And the first through the 15th, and the time would be paid, would be on the 20th, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Time cards 5th through
So that would
15th,
give
and the
you
20th.
time to get everything in.
Yeah,
Yeah. There we go.
and that balances to
Yeah.
the amount on your check,
Yeah.
more,
Yeah, more, yeah, and then they can look at it. It's the first through the 15th, and then the 16th through
Yes.
the end of the month. And then that's with the between days is the time
The process.
to get your time card in.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
So you want to implement this for November's payroll then?
If we can.
Did you vote on it?
No, you guys haven't
Yeah,
motioned on it
voted.
yet.
Alright.
We're still discussing.
Oh.
Do you want to implement it for November's payroll or December's payroll? December's payroll,
I would feel more comfortable doing December payroll,
okay?
just because, don't you? Just because I know that I'm going to be out of the office for 2 weeks at the end of October.
Jeez.
Sorry, I haven't met
So
it.
we have.
So like
to
December's
schedule.
payroll will be. On the 5th month would be November, so they get a full month in November, December 5th. And then the 20th would be from the 1st to the 15th, right?
Of December,
Yeah,
yes.
We can do it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. Anything to make you happy.
Well, and you are talking about Christmas stuff and wanting to make sure that
And
that
then-
would give you an extra check before Christmas.
And then the 15th, the 16th through. The
The
30th
31st.
would be on the 5th of January.
Mm-hmm,
So they'd only have 2 weeks into.
Then once it starts rolling. and-
Yeah, it's gonna roll.
yeah.
So in December, you're gonna have. Like a paycheck and a half.
Yes, exactly, because you're gonna get paid on the
Yeah.
5th and then again on
And then
the
20th.
20th, and then Christmas hits on 25, so you can go do all your last minute Christmas shopping on the 24th. At the Walgreens, because that's the only thing left open, Scott.
I'm gonna-
You can buy all of the candy bars and gallons of milk for Christmas presents that you want.
Okay,
Is
does that
that
work?
a motion?
I make a motion that we go, is it semi-monthly?
Fine.
Bye.
Bi-monthly. Make a motion effective. December, November's into December's payroll.
I second it.
So it would be,
So December, you're gonna have
December's payroll would
December.
start to be the bi-monthly.
bi-monthly,
Mhm. Paid on the 20th and the
the
5th,
5th and the 20th.
yes.
So you're getting, that's gonna be your first month to play and you do it twice.
Mhm.
You're gonna are you gonna do the paper cards too, or are you gonna?
So what I think if I'm gonna try to get all of the implementation done as soon as possible. So that maybe I can run those concurrent with each other until that point to be able to make sure that things are. Being done the way that they are, make sure the training gets done. So that when it does roll out and we're gonna just do this. Time clock stuff, it's just, everybody's already gonna have a couple of months of practice doing it and figuring it out, and I'll have a couple months.
Yeah.
Consecutively, with doing both.
Yeah.
Okay, I second it.
Okay,
Public comment? I think we've had a lot of comment. We have none all in favor? Aye.
so going forward. The annual, I'm just still on that, going forward, then we have to probably budget. Just for the annual fees for this program,
Yes,
and that would come out of. County building, probably under computer stuff, because every office.
every department will
Yeah.
be utilizing it. Mhm.
Where did you want this current amount taken from?
Okay,
Health?
already said, already said,
Yes.
already said, already said, because
Adjourn.
it wasn't put in the budget.
I
And
make a
built this
motion that we
contingent.
adjourn.
Adjourn.